2, 1, boom. Corey Anderson, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? How are you, man?
What's going on, Joe?
We finally did it.
Finally did it. We here.
And got some techno hunt in as well.
Yeah.
That I told you about that game. That game's very addictive, isn't it?
I'm already trying to get back out there, do some more when this is over.
You get itchy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's amazing, man. That game's incredible. How long you been bow hunting for?
I've been bow hunting since I was 16 or 17, but I've been hunting my whole life.
Wow. What switched you over to bow hunting?
A high school teammate, actually. I used to go rabbit hunting and stuff with a shotgun, and I've been shooting a bow since I was like 12 or 11, just 3D shooting. Like, you ever bow hunted with it? Like, you can hunt with this? Like, yeah. Like, we go hunt all the time. So one day before school, he picked me up, and we went over to my buddy's house and got up in the stand. Well, he got in the stand. I couldn't climb because I didn't know what I was doing. I got stuck at the bottom of the tree, sitting there with my bow on my lap. But that was my first time, and after that, I just kept going, and every now and then in between practices and whatnot. But now, when I got time between fighting and whatnot, I'm all hunting. That's it.
Oh, I could tell by your Instagram, man. I follow your Instagram. You're constantly shooting and hunting and practicing, and it gets in your blood.
I mean, it's just like fighting. Like I said, we're doing techno hunts. I do it so much, just muscle memory. Like, everybody think, oh, you spend too much time hunting, you're not training. But I go win a fight, and they're like, oh, that was impressive. Like, I still train 2-3 times a day, but I get home from the gym, and I always have a bow in my truck. I have 3 bows, and one is always in my truck. So I pull up, pop the doors open, grab my speaker, and the target is right there. Get like 30 to 60 shots, and then go in, spend time with the family, eat, go back to the gym, go to the range, and shoot indoors when it's dark. And I'm always shooting. I just enjoy it.
Wow. So is it like a part of meditation for you, do you think?
100%. Coming off the OSP fight, that was actually the first time I hunted in Jersey. I've been in Jersey since 2014 when the show came out. And after OSP fight and all that stuff, and everybody told me, like, don't pay attention. You was winning that fight. You got caught. Don't let the people get in your head and tell you you're not there. So actually, the next day I went home, went and bought my hunting license and bought a stand and hunted in Jersey for the first time. And that helped me. I didn't think about it at all. From November to February 1st, I was in a tree stand every day. And when I went back to training, like full camp with everything, my mind, I forgot all about that OSP fight. And that's when I told my wife, I found my balance. You know, the thing was, I was always in the gym. And that's why the name 25-8 came, because Corey never, at the time, I didn't do anything else but train. You know, I would train to go to the gym and train, to go to therapy, go back to the gym and train, go home, run, go to the garage, hit the heavy bag, go to Mark Henry's, hit pads, and go to train again. So, like I was telling Will on the way here, when I first went to the UFC, and I say, oh, Corey's grew, he's gotten bigger. Like, I've always been a big guy. I was 300 pounds one time. But when I got down to 205, I was telling myself, I don't want to get heavier than like 210, 212. So every day I had like a goal. I wanted to end the day off no heavier than 212. So if I was like 215 from eating too much and it's 10 o'clock at night, I got to lace up and go for a run. So I was every morning I wake up at 210. So that's why I took the fights like Jan Blachowicz on 2-3 weeks notice, Fabio Maldonado in Brazil on a week notice, because I didn't have to cut weight. It was like, okay, just go. But when I got to Jimmy Manuel and he told me at the bar, he's like, bro, you're a good fighter. You're just too small. Like, I weighed in Friday and Saturday, I stepped in the cage looking the exact same. I gained like 6 pounds. And he told me, you got to eat, you got to feed yourself. And after I did that, that was probably the best advice I ever got from a fighter, because now I walk around like 235 and I feel great. Like the last fight with Glover, on 2 weeks' notice, I was 236. I got the weight off and hydrated right back up and felt fine, fantastic. And went out there and did my thing, because I treat my body right now.
So you're 236 up until like how far out of the fight?
I try to stay at least 231 until like 2 weeks out. And I start tapering down to like 225 area and just get 20 pounds of water off. A lot of water, drinking the water load. And then Tuesday is the first day I hit it hard and just start trimming down. So you feel like that extra pounds helps you in what way? It's recovery. That's for getting rocked as well. Like, that was the thing in college. My coach was always trained in wrestling. We're going to go a whole practice. Nobody go get a water. If I see anybody go to the water fountain, we're doing sprints, whatever. That means you weak. You know, and it was great because we trained, and in the mat, you see guys gassing for water in third period. We all standing tall, ready to go. And I had that same mentality when it came to fighting, because you got to think, now we're taking blows to the head. So I got to keep water, keep that brain hydrated, because if I'm dehydrated, that one shot is lights out. You don't have anything to help take it. So it's like I said, after OSP fight and the hunting and everything, I just went back and did a lot of figuring things out before that Pat Cummins fight. And I just knew what I had to do to be the best me. And like I said, getting bigger, stronger, not worrying about keeping my weight low. The weight's going to come off. It's going to be hard sometimes, but it's going to come off. You know, but that's when I will not miss weight. If I got to kill myself, I'm going to end up in the hospital before I miss weight. So putting all that together, now I feel like I have the recipe.
So the recipe was, did you start weightlifting? Like, what did you do to pack on the extra weight?
Yeah, weightlifting was a big thing, big key to my brother first. Before I had the strength and conditioning coaches that was on board. My coach before was great for cardio, same guy Frank Yeager had. And we had cardio, and we were getting strong, but it wasn't like size building strong. It was like mobility, strength to punch and keep the cardio up. And then my brother, he had a contract to play pro ball back in, like 2000 or whatever. So he knew like all the combine lifts and whatever. He hit me up and said, bro, we got to get bigger. Like, we got to, you're dominant. Like, you look at these guys you fight. They say you're going to lose. You go out there and you dominate, and you're small. So imagine if you put the size on you got the power. You can dominate these guys for real. So he flew out. Like, I'll fly you out for a week. You put me on the right diet and how y'all lifted in NFL camps or whatnot, and we'll get stronger. So he literally had me on compound lifts every day, eating, like I said, I got the freezer full of deer meat. He's like, you got all the stuff you need. You got protein right here. Have Jenny go grab, my wife, go grab rice and potatoes, and you just eat meat, potatoes, rice. You eat eggs with meat, potatoes, and rice. Everything you eat, put meat, potatoes, and rice in everything, and you're going to get that size. I promise you, and the strength and everything will come. And sure enough, I just saw it. I went from this was after the Jimmy fight, he showed up, and it worked out as well. I met my supplement sponsor, but we went out to the buffet. Like, all right, we had a good workout. We're going to eat the buffet. Eat as much. We carb up. And actually, while I was there, Apollo Nutrition, the owner of my supplement company, he was like, you're Corey Anderson, right? Like, I'm a huge fan. I would love to work with you. My brother said, that's made it happen. Protein right there. Get a bottle of protein from him. We're going to start mixing this in with your meat, potatoes, or rice. Protein shake instantly. And he just put me on a whole plan. And when he left me a whole little list on the refrigerator. And I still got it there. And I don't need it anymore, but that's the thing. You eat your meat, potatoes, and rice. 4 or 5 eggs in the morning. Just got a cup of rice. Put some venison or hog, whatever meat I'm using that day. And then put some vegetables and a little bit of potatoes or something. Get a big old meal. Carb it up. Then go hit the gym. Then when you're done, kill your protein shake. Come home. Meat, potatoes, rice. And do
How much difference is your diet doing this than it was before?
I mean, it's crazy. You ask my teammates now, and they say, we seen the difference of how big you got. Even Mark Henry, I was hitting mitts the other day for the first time with him in probably like a couple of weeks, whatever, in his basement. And I was still moving fast and everything. Like, bro, you got huge. Like, I was like, I just started lifting and eating, coach.
Yeah.
You know, so I used to
So you're probably holding yourself back before.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And then probably draining yourself too much by all that weight cutting and all that, like getting it down before the actual fight itself, all the extra running and everything. Like,
even on the show, like, we would finish eating, and this is when I found out you can cut weight in the hot tub. I didn't know this, because I fought heavyweight before The Ultimate Fighter. The guy's like, oh, you can lose weight in the hot tub. I was like, what? And everybody was sitting in the hot tub for like 40, 50 minutes, and I get out, I lost all my weight. I'm at 206. Like, oh, this is great. So we eat a bunch. Like, even one day, Frankie and the coaches brought In-N-Out burgers over. We ate and watched the fights, and I just sat in this hot tub for like 40 minutes and got all the weight off down to 210. Like, I don't know where I wanted to be. I was like, bro, you can get up. So I'm like, nah, because we fight. We never know when we're going to fight. He wins tomorrow on Tuesday. I might be fighting Thursday. I don't want to have to worry about that. Yeah, I was always scared of the weight cut.
Right, but if you're getting in the sauna or getting in the hot tub and losing all that weight, that's just water weight though, right? Mm-hmm. Like, even if you're down like where you want to be, you're still going to have to cut more water to get to where you need to be, to 205.
Yeah, but you ask my wife, I have the worst, not now, but before, I didn't know anything about nutrition, because I wrestled heavyweight from freshman year in high school to my senior year in college, and I fought heavyweight until The Ultimate Fighter. So I never had to worry about the diet. You know, I used to eat ramen noodles. I remember moving in my first time fighting. Ben Askren took me up to Rufus Sport, and I moved in the fighter house, and everybody eating like chicken fillets and salmon. I came in with a big old box of ramen and a thing of chunky noodle soup. I was like, what are you doing? Like, this is how I eat? Like, bro, that's not going to work. What do you mean? Like, I train every day, and I eat this same stuff. Eat a bowl of cereal for breakfast, and they all cooking. Like, yo, that's not healthy. Like, it works for me, but then when it came time to go to 205 the first time, it's like, this isn't working for me. I have to figure something out.
What do you feel the difference between, like, eating nonsense, like ramen, and then eating healthy food? Like, what was the big shift?
You just have more energy, really.
Right.
You know, because in wrestling, that's how we ate. You know, definitely in college, you ain't got no money. We go to Walmart on Saturday, Sunday, get a big old box of ramen. I used to get spaghetti sauce and just cook noodles and put spaghetti sauce on, you know. Yeah. Can of soup right out the can. You're eating stuff like that, but you're training all day, so it doesn't really get to stick in your body, and you don't really feel the difference in energy because you never really ate clean. You're eating cafeteria food that's packed with grease. Yeah. But now it's like we got meal prep companies and stuff out there, and you try all that different stuff. And then my wife fights too, so she fought like 120, so she was always dieting. So when she's cutting weight, I would eat clean, and I would notice a difference in my energy. Like, I wake up a lot earlier. I can go longer that day. At the end of the night, I'm not crashing. I peacefully put myself in bed, watch TV, and fall asleep. But when you got all that sugar and all the stuff in, you feel like crap. When at the end of the day, you kind of like, you're just fighting. You don't have control anymore.
Well, you also have the advantage of the best protein. The fact that you how many deer did you say you shot
13.
last year? That's a lot of protein.
That's a lot of protein.
A lot of clean, wild protein.
And I got half that meat still in Texas that I never got. Actually, Justin Gaethje got it. And I heard we went hunting together one time. Me, Gaethje, and his coach Luke Calilio, whatever. And we put the meat, I don't know how to say his last name, but they put the meat in the same place. And we said, some of this goes to Corey, the other part go to Justin. But they sent all of it down to Justin at his camp. But it's I had a freezer full anyway. I had no space.
Yeah, he's another one. Ray Borg, he's another. He bow hunts. Chad Mendez bow hunts. TJ Dillashaw bow hunts. We could probably keep going down the line. There's a lot of pro fighters who bow hunt.
Well, let's put it out there before we get too far. Justin hunts, but he can't bow hunt.
He can't?
We had him with a crossbow on a ranch, and we pushed, like everybody that got him, and he kept missing. We put him in a corner, like, all right, we're going to all, like, drive him to you. So all you got to do is be ready, bro. Just shoot. Somehow, all these big old deer come, and he still missed. Like, they was probably 10 yards, 10 to 15 yards. He missed.
With a crossbow?
With a crossbow. Like, bro, how the hell did you miss? Like, you can't shoot. Then they went to another ranch, and the guy gave him a gun. Like, you want to do a gun instead? He killed it with a gun. But
he has his vision's not the best, right?
No. That's something with what is wrong with his vision and his energy. You know, he's kind of, he's a great guy.
His energy?
Not like bad energy, kind of like focus. That's what I mean.
Oh,
like it's hard for him to like sit still. Like we in the trees or in this loft, and he's like shadow boxing. So like, bro, you gotta chill, calm down. We hunting. But
some people can't hang out in the stand.
They can't.
The stand is hard for them. It's harder for them than just spot and stalk, just walking the mountains for all day. It's easier for them than to just stay put and do nothing.
Yeah, it's just sitting there quiet. You know.
Yeah.
I went with a buddy. We went turkey hunting. This was my first week turkey hunting this year, and he's never hunted before. He's actually my archery partner. I taught him how to shoot bow like 15 weeks ago, and he's actually got pretty good. He was hitting like all bullseyes in the league. He's like, I want to go hunting with you. So he sat in the blind. I told him he was going out there like, bro, when we get out here, you can't move. Like, we're in the blind, but that one window, the turkeys can see us from the tree. If you're moving, they're going to see you. And they got good hearing too, so you got to chill out. So I'm like, I'm going to put the decoys up, just sit down. I turn around. He like walk around, like, what are you doing? Like, I'm covering the blind. If he got like little bitty twigs, he put it across like, bro, we don't have time to blind. He's like, I seen it on YouTube. Like, get in the blind.
I seen it on YouTube.
I was like, bro, get in the blind. This will work. I'm like we're not killing anything. And they're talking like, call. Use a call. Like,
use a call.
Like, bro, I already called once. Like, do it again. Do it. Like,
they get bored.
Yeah, it was like, exactly. He just, attention span. Some people they can't sit there. I can sit there for a whole day from sun up to sundown. I'm fine with that. I'm fine, peace, just listen to the birds and watch the animals. I have my phone, check my phone every once in a while, but some people, they don't have that peace. They need to be talking or doing things.
Yeah, that's real ADD, right?
Yeah.
It's a weird mental exercise. Just sit there and do nothing and just wait for an animal to come to you. And it seems like it would be easy, but after a while, it starts fucking with your head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a mental exercise.
The thing that's crazy, I can do that in tree stand, but in college, I couldn't focus on shit.
In school.
Even now, if I go to like a meeting or something and people talking, I start dozing off instantly. I can't sit there, but in that tree stand, I can sit wide awake for hours.
Also, in that tree stand, though, you're waiting for something. It's very specific. If you're doing something you don't want to do, a guy like you who burns off so much energy in the day, your body's probably like, this is boring as fuck. Let's just nod out.
Yeah.
Let's just
pretty much.
You've been training 6 hours a day, you know?
It's the same way at home. I mean, my wife said, you never stop moving. Just hang out, you know? Like Joel was saying, I'll have my baby and I'm doing something with the camera.
Right.
Editing my YouTube channel. So I can't just sit down because I'll fall asleep. I have to do something. But like when it's time to just relax, like it's Sunday, we're just going to sit here and watch TV. Sit down, 5 minutes in, I'm out. She's like, what you think about the movie? Like, huh? Like, my bad, babe. I fell asleep.
Yeah, well, if you're a guy who trains as much as you, I mean, every chance your body gets to actually rest, your body's probably like, right about now, it's a good time.
It doesn't take much. We get in the car, before we out the driveway. She's driving. She's like, which way am I going? Cool, huh? Oh, we ain't even left the driveway yet. My bad, babe.
Well, a guy who works as hard as you do, because one of the things that you're known for, man, is your cardio. You have crazy fucking cardio. And you notice it in fights where around the second and the third round, I start seeing your opponent start to slow down a little bit. And then you ramp it like Ilir Latifi. It's a perfect example. That was a great fight for you because that guy's a tank. Mm-hmm. He's a tank, very scary dude, hits really fucking hard, strong as shit. But he's a guy that relies on that explosive power. He's like a sprinter in a lot of ways. And you can only do that for so long. And you could say, like, somewhere around the second round, it was real obvious that you weren't slowing down at all. Mm-hmm. And he was taking some big, deep breaths, and it's harder for him. Have you always had that kind of cardio?
I mean, I got it in wrestling. Like I said, I was big, you know. And especially when I got to 300 pounds, and I was still working cardio, trying to get down as a heavyweight to wrestle and be. I always study little guys' films, you know, like the Henry Cejudo films and shit like that. When I was in college, that's just what I watched. My coach was like, watch heavyweights. And I'm like, nah, I want to move. I want footwork. I want to fake. I want to take shots. Like I led my team in takedowns as a heavyweight because I moved around as a big guy. And the same thing. I've had one match, a guy was beating me, 15-1. If he needed one more point to take me, going to the third point. But in the third round, but he gassed. And I was still going. I came back and beat him in overtime. Wow. It's because I can just keep going. I was the mindset. Guys are going to break eventually. Yeah. My coach always said, act fresh. Even if you're tired as dog shit, stand up and act fresh. Like no matter what, look fresh. And you'll be surprised how your mind take over. You'll realize later on you're not really tired. And when you're tired, keep pushing. Because the next time you usually get tired around that 3-minute mark, it'll make it to about the 7-8 minute. Then it's like 15. You start doing those grind matches and you go 30 minutes live. And when it's done, I'm able to walk, shake coach's hand, and go grab another partner or go get on a treadmill. It's because we always push as a big guy. So you got to imagine when I came down to 205, it was like, it was crazy. Like this is like magic. I can do this all day, coach. 5 rounds. That first my 5-round fight with Jimmy. When they called me, like, oh, it's the main event now. You got to train 6 rounds. Like, okay. Like, was it middle in the cage? We did 3 rounds. Mark, like, you know you're doing 6 today. That's fine. Gave me 3 new partners. Went, and they was tired, and I was still good. Like, dude, your cardio is crazy. It's just a mental. Even when I'm tired, I'll never show it. It's like I just got to act fresh and get through it. It can only last so long. My father told me that forever.
It is a weird thing, isn't it, that your mind can give you more energy. Like, you know that feeling that sometimes you're on a treadmill or something like that and you're running and a great song comes on and all of a sudden you're like, woo! You like feel it. Like, you got like all of a sudden extra, like where's that coming from? It's coming from your mind.
Your mind, that one beat, that up-tempo beat and your heart start pumping and you kind of start dancing while you're running. And like 3 to 5 minutes, however long that song gets, you like on a sprint. Yeah. Then once that song ends, you're like,
then you really feel it.
The tone changes. You're like, oh, shit, I'm tired again.
It's crazy, isn't it, there's a switch in your mind that you almost, like you have to figure out where it is. You got to go find it. And a song can find it for you. But like for you just to be able to pull it out, like especially in a fight or something like that, when you're battling doubt and this and that, and you know you're wondering how he's doing. You know, is he tired? Am I on? Who's tireder, me or him? You know, and there's that switch in your mind that if you could just access that all the time and keep it on.
One of the things one of the guys I looked up to when I was in college, you know, he was past Steve Prefontaine. I just watch his story all the time. His quotes: "To do anything less than your best is a waste of a gift." You know, like every day he ran. He didn't. It's cross country, but guys trot, they pacing, and every day he said, "I'm running to like I'm sprinting." You know, like I watched all his movies, the movies on him, how his mindset. Even that one race when he was full out sprint, and they said his heart's gonna give, and he gave out right before the finish line. Like I'd rather go out that way than pacing the whole time, and then try to sprint in and fail because I wasn't ready. So that's like in my fight, I start off so fast. That's just I'm going all out. There's no fill out period. We're gonna touch gloves, and I'm ready to move. And I already know, like, if I'm getting tired, I know this guy's getting tired. Right. He's not training like I'm training. And if he is training like I'm training, he might not be tired. But in my mind, I'm thinking he's getting tired. So just keep pushing because eventually he's going to break. He's going to break before me.
Now, do you have a system in terms of, like, your strength and conditioning program? Do you have a schedule that you follow, like very specifically for however many weeks you have before your fight?
When I get in the fight camp, everything get really specific. Like I said on the Ariel show, I'm calculating. When it's camp time, like, you don't mess my order. I'll be early. I have my bags packed night before. I have 3-4 training bags packed right at the little exit way. So when I come home, if I'm running short in time, running late, grab something to eat, grab the next bag. I'm out the door. And I know where I got to go. I hate when people have to cancel. Like, oh, I can't make it today, or something came up, or I show up and my partner don't show up. You're not on time. I'm on the guys. Like, I'm kind of like the leader of the big guys. Like, we're going to be here early this week so we can start at 10:30 because I want to do drills after. We're going to do this. You need to work on that. I'm very punctual like that. I hate, when it's camp time, if you showing up late, I hate it. It runs me rag. And when we spar, I kind of take it out on people. I'm very calculated when it comes to camp because this is my career. I'm serious about this. I'm not showing up late. Like, I go to boxing gyms with guys and we sparring at 6 o'clock. So I show up at 5:45 and 6:45. They still not there. When they walk in like nothing's wrong, talking and dancing, I'm like, yo, you said 6 o'clock, right? Like, you're a professional, ain't you? Well, quit acting like an amateur. Get here on time. Let's go. This is your camp. I'm here to help you. Even that makes me mad. But when it's my camp and you show up, it's not fun because I know I'm not going to get tired, so I'm just going to beat on you.
Who writes out your schedule? Do you write it out, or do you just know what it is? Do you have it in your head, or do you write it out? You write it out?
Well, I get like a notepad, and I put how many weeks, and I put it out, and I try to early into it, like when it first start, I give like an idea of what I want to do. So Tuesday, Thursday, strength and conditioning, or Monday, Friday, strength and conditioning before jiu-jitsu with Ricardo. And then Tuesday, Thursday, I'm going to do one-on-ones with Ricardo. And Wednesday, I'm going to do my one-on-one with Nicotone. And then Tuesday night or Monday night, I'm going to do mitts with Mark. And then Saturday after sparring, I do another mitt. Try to do 2 of everything. Then I go up to Rutgers and wrestle because in Jersey, everything is such a commute. So you have to time everything perfect because if practice goes 15 minutes past or whatever, or somebody's late, that's messing me up because I got to drive an hour to 45 minutes to get to the next place. And I'm running late for that practice. Or if it's 3 practices in a row, and I get there just a little bit right on time, I don't have time to get ready to do my full warm-up to make sure my body's warm. Then get to the next spot and do the same thing. Now I'm rushing. Now it's nonstop. Now I got to get home and grab something to eat quick. Or I got to keep my food with me, and it's getting cold. And this is, like, I'm very punctual and specific when it comes to stuff like that.
Do you meal prep? Do you have like little Tupperware containers with your food so you can just grab one? And
I still use Eat Clean Bro when I get into camp. I used to use them all the time, but now, like I said, I got a wife.
Eat Clean Bro?
Eat Clean Bro. It's Jamie, I can't remember his last name, but Jamie in New Jersey.
Good name.
He's killing it, man. He's DJ Khaled, Carmelo Anthony, Lala, all the famous people use him. He just opened up another one in Atlanta. He's killing the game with the meal prep, and it's good. It's accurate. It wasn't as accurate before, but he teamed up with his company Revolutionize, which is a nutrition company. They do the calculation of all the meals for fighters and different people, bodybuilders, and it's perfect. But
so it has all your nutrients, all your protein. It has it set up like this is 40 grams of protein. Yeah.
And then you can also go in there and just order the raw stuff. They give it and they deliver it to your door.
And then you just cook it?
Yeah, you can get it raw, and they put it in a freezer bag. You get it. And just put it in. I know people that do it that way. Like I said, now I have my wife who fights and used to fight and she knows what's going on. Most of the time she does that for me.
If you bring them venison, will they cook that and put
that in?
I'm sure he would.
I know he told me if I get a turkey, he would cook it up for me. So I'm sure he'd give me some venison or cook me venison if I took it to him.
Now, when you say you have everything set up, are you monitoring your heart rate? Like, what are you doing to make sure that you're not overtrained or that you're not sick?
That's one thing I'm not really dancing with it. Not in my mind, I'm fine with it because growing up, my coach used to tell me all the time, no such thing. Overtraining is a mental state. As long as you train, eat, rest. You give your body time to rest and recover. Get to bed by a certain time so you get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. It's kind of hard to overtrain, but those days where you feel you hurting, like shoulders, like with my injuries, it's okay to dial back. When you go to the gym, you don't have to hit it hard. Just go through the motions. Sometimes don't be here to go through the motions, but sometimes it ain't bad to go through the motions as long as you focus on one thing to master this takedown, master this sweep, or master that jiu-jitsu submission or a sweep or whatever it is. Yeah. Focus on it and going nice and slow. Calculate. You don't have to get a sweat every time because you learn it, muscle memory. Do it 1,000 times, and now it's kind of like it's in there. I got it. But with the overtraining and heart monitoring, I only heart monitor for the last 5 to 6 weeks because that's when I hit cardio hard. Not so much strength anymore, but pushing the pace. Everything I'm doing, blowing it out, trying to keep my heart rate above a certain thing. So if the last day before I go into that pace, I put the heart rate monitor on and see wherever I got to. I don't take much of a break between my stations, see where my heart rate got. So if the high was 172 today or whatever. All right, so that's the high on a slow day. And it's hard for me to get my heart rate up. So it's like when we're doing cardio, I'm shooting for like 180s after everything. I need to be above that. So it takes time for that to come down. So in between that 30 to a minute break, if I'm still right there at 180, 170, so I'm going to hit the next one, I know my heart is still racing. So I'm stretching my lungs out. and take that little short break. And I never do a full minute break, even in sparring. So in fighting, that's why in that minute you see me talking to Mark Henry and everything, is everybody, oh, of course, having a conversation. In between around, Mark calls, I'm like, yep, okay. I'm on jiu-jitsu. Mark says, I'm trying, I hear you. Because that's how we train and practice. On a short clock, a longer time work, shorter time recover. And I'm tired in practice at the beginning, but at the end, it's kind of like going to the fight that last week. We talking, we smiling, we chilling. Good round, this, you got to do this. All right, well, we got to do better this time. Did I have the sweep right? Did that submission? What was wrong with my hands? And the next one, all right, work on this again. And to be able to communicate and not be tired, it makes a world of difference.
Do you give yourself 30 seconds in training?
It depends. It depends on who we fighting. It depends on my mentality. You know, if I feel like today's going to be a hard day, if we ain't got the clock, sometimes I have it on my phone. If the coaches aren't there and my wife doing it, and I stand up and I feel like I'm recovering like 20 minutes or 20 seconds, start it, go. We got to keep rotating my partners though, because I know they can't recover all the time. But it's just like I'm a little different. You know, it's like always thinking outside the box. I'm trying to do what the other people aren't. You know, everybody going off like the Dolce diet or the keto diet or such and such training or West Side barbell or this and that. It's kind of like I take the different stuff I learned from this guy and I saw from this guy and I learned in wrestling and I seen on YouTube and I heard somebody say this. Like, I wonder if I can just take away and take a little bit of this, put a little bit with the West Side barbell, put it with the keto diet along with my own venison diet and this and just try it out. And if it works, it works. And if I don't feel good, if I feel low energy, it's like, all right, that doesn't work. We're going to try something different. You know?
It seems like a lot of people would want to listen to you, though. I would imagine if I was in camp with a guy like you and I saw the kind of cardio that you have for a big guy and the amount of effort that you put in, I would imagine there's other dudes that are following you now.
Oh, my teammates, yeah, they know. Like, one of the guys, like a brother to me is Carl Roberson. You see, he's a beast, he stepped up on the Glover fight. And that's something we talked about when he was an amateur. I've been working with him since he was an amateur. And I told his coach Dean, like, this kid is good. He get the right stuff. He go pro. He'll be in the UFC in no time. I'm telling you, because I watched it, me, him, and Chris Weidman. He came in with us when I was helping Weidman with the Rockhold fight. And I'm not sure if he was an amateur or pro yet, but he was hanging his jiu-jitsu and the wrestling. He didn't have that. But striking-wise, he was giving us problems. It was like, this kid is good. Yeah. I was like, oh, he's a glory kickboxer. Like, that makes sense. He kicks hard. Like, I haven't seen him put many people to sleep with his head kick in practice. Like, yo, pull it. He's like, bro, that wasn't even hard. Like, what you mean that wasn't hard? He's like, I just flicked it up there. But he's just so explosive and athletic. He hit me with a knee, last Saturday? My chest still hurt. And it was like I shot, and he caught me coming in on a shot, and it was like, oh, shit. But I was in deep, but he's just so quick. It's just... But, like, he's one. He hits me up all the time when it come to camp. Like, yo, he has to diet down because of Bo and Clint out of the PI. He had that. But when it come, like, to work and stuff, should we keep doing this? Should we do this? I'm going to run today. So, when I want to work on my jiu-jitsu, what should I do this? Should I just drill or should we go hard? Should I go?
So, he trains sometimes at the Performance Institute in Vegas?
Well, every time we get a camp, me and him, we got to think. If one of us get in camp, we already know. I'm going to contact him. You got to fight when we're going to Vegas. So we go out there for a week or 2 weeks. Me, him, and Rex Harris. He was in the PFL. We call each other the Bash Bros. The only 3 dudes at UFC in Jersey. We done traveled around. We've been to Vegas. We've been to Arizona, wherever we go, and we go hard. And that's why we call it the Bash Bros. There's no, oh, we're going light today, bro. Don't hit me. Every time it's like, are you ready? You ready? Rex actually texted me. We were doing Tecmo hunt. He was like, yeah, I'll be there tomorrow because I'm flying here and I get back in time for training. So Bash Bros meet up and we go at it. That's it.
Are you always sparring hard, or do you spar technical?
We got certain days. Like, if we don't want to spar hard, we know not to go with each other. Because it's kind of like, if one week I get the best of Rex, like, it's been times like I had Carl with OSP because he's southpaw and he's super good. So I went with Carl 3 rounds hard. So his main focus was takedown. Don't let him up. So I take him down, just beat him on the ground, take him down, beat him on the ground because he didn't have wrestling at the time. And then he would go with, like, somebody else. Like, I need one more round. And he'd be mad. So I know that. But that's why I'm not going him on the fourth round, because he's mad. And he'd go out there with somebody else and you just eat him up. And it's just like, I'm sorry. I have to apologize to the other guy. Like, I'm sorry for beating him up because of the hostility. So we go hard. But there's times we pull other guys in. Like, I'm going to call this amateur guy in. Pretty good amateur or a low-level pro. Some guys like Eddie Alvarez knows or whatever. I got this kid. He's pro 205. He's the beginner, whatever. You want to work with him? That's a guy. All right, bring him up. Today I'm going to do a technical move day, kind of like wall work, drilling. We sparring. We have headgear on just in case because accidents happen, but nothing is thrown with intention to hurt anybody.
Well, you have a fantastic camp too, man. It's one of the most unheralded camps if you want to talk about who's training out there. Zabit You guys have Marlon, you know, of course, Frankie Edgar. I mean, so many guys come from that area. Eddie Alvarez, you, and I mean, it's just Mark Henry's one of the most underappreciated guys in MMA, I think, because he's so quiet and unassuming, doesn't toot his own horn. But when you talk to that guy, you see the wheels spinning, and you're like, wow. He's something serious. And everybody I know that's worked with him has said he's like one of the best coaches I've ever seen.
There's nothing like it. I remember the first time I went, he broke it down. I remember he was telling me movement. On the show, he broke me down a little bit. Like, we're going to work like throw a punch, slide out, slide back, slide left, clinch, different stuff, staying out of punching range. He broke it down very lightly for 6 weeks. And, like, I fell in love with it there.
Was that the first time you worked with him?
You asked him to this day when we was in the back, the first fight to get in the house, and that was the last fight. And I told my coach, I like to warm up early. So I want to start warming up before the first fight just to get my heart going. It was a wrestling thing. Go hard and then just chill till time. And when I was going, he was like, have you ever done this before? I had no background or anything, just a wrestler that can throw a 1-2. That was it. And he was like, I'm going to show you this. And he kept telling me to do it, and I was listening. Like, bro, you listen so well. Like, when I'm wrestling, you have to listen. And that's when me and Mark clicked from that day. And I remember when they flipped the coin and it came out Frankie saying, Frankie get the first pick, I remember hearing Mark in the back, Corey, we want Corey. He listens. He's a wrestler. This and this. And me and Mark have been like this since, and we have that bond. But I remember coming the first day to his house, I got the jersey. That's how I got there. Mark was the one to text me. Frankie said, oh, come out, Ricardo. I met everybody together. But Mark was the one that was more hands-on, texting me while I was back home with the family. Work this, work that, work this, work that. Go to Ruthless Sport and work your kicks. We need to have the kicks good by the time you get here. And it was in the basement. It's like, all right, so, and you see like this whole piece of paper, like all the way down, like codes. Everybody's codes wrote out on paper. Like, what is that? He's like, oh, that's the combos. Like, that's like 100 combos. Like, oh, yeah, we got codes. Like, nobody ever knows this is.
And they changes the code for each fight, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, what is that? And you see my paper just blank. He's like, all right, so this is your schedule. He had me on the first schedule. This is your schedule. And that was just packed. Like 13 weeks of nonstop going. And this is what we're going to work for your coach. So today we're going to start with the jab, cross ski, the coach for that, and movement. About 3 rounds in, I was like, yo, like I'm flat-footed. I couldn't move like that. I can't do this. He's like, you could do it. It's like a tandem dance. And we joined the dance team. The first day we learned this new routine, we're going to be all over. We're tripping each other every day. And the next day we get a little better. In a week, we got it kind of like the first course, we got it. By the end of the time, when it's time to perform, we're going to look beautiful. I promise you. And sure enough, I found he had the pizzeria. Like, I want a slice of pizza. He's like, I want you to learn how to move. He's like, you learn how to move, I'll give you a slice of my pizza. And he said, when you can move, I'll bring you a slice of pizza.
I heard he's got some killer pizza.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think like it was week 10 before the fight. I had a 13-week camp. He's like, you actually moved a little bit. I told my wife to bring you home a slice. Gail said it was a slice. Like, I got his approval. And ever since then, like, it's just been a thing, that movement, his scientific ways. Like I've seen Chris Weidman do it, Rashad Evans. We got Lance Palmer and Claudia now. Different people like watching and trying to learn. You can just see.
Oh, Lance Palmer's out there too now?
Yeah, he just came out recently. He was last week before I left. He showed up.
Who else is out there? Who would you say?
Claudia.
Claudia Gadelia?
She had a gym out there, and she's been at our gym working. And when Mark was like helping them after sparring last Thursday, and he called me in the case like, Corey's really good at this. Show him how we do the 1-2, blah, blah, blah. And like when I look back at them, they both had that look at each other like, that's a lot of shit, but you figure it out in time. When it's new, anything new to you is going to be uncomfortable, but after you figure it out and you do it for so much, it's muscle memory.
So when you were fighting as a heavyweight, you weren't a mover? You weren't moving?
I mean, what I thought was moving wasn't moving, but for heavyweight, it was just kind of like a little bounce on my knees. If they go to step forward, when they go throw a punch, hop out and then come back with a jab to a double leg.
Right.
That's what I had to
Standard shit.
Yeah, that was movement. I thought I was the man. I'm moving my ass off. No, that was nothing. You get to mark and it's kind of like feet all on your toes, bounce. Don't ever stop. When you stop, it hit you like 10 times. Like that's what happens when you stop.
It's really interesting when you watch the difference between the way people utilize footwork. I think probably the best example in combat. Well, there's 2 great examples in combat sports: Lomachenko, who has got some of the most incredible footwork of all time, and Sanchai, who's a Thai fighter, who's got crazy footwork, constantly switching stances, light on his toes, fights different than any other Thai fighter, and widely considered the best of all time. You know, and Lomachenko, like when you watch guys who have good footwork fight him, they're like, what in the fuck? Like, you throw a punch and he's over here and he's hitting you here and uppercuts coming under your arm, he's back this way, and he's
like the Matrix,
constantly moving. And that guy started out as a dancer. His dad, when his dad was training him how to box, he made him do Russian folk dancing. I want to say for like 4 years. He made him do this kind of Russian style of dancing. He was like, you're gonna have to learn how to move your feet. And now you see him, he fights. It's effortless. It's just a part of who he is. And guys who are like more plotting and they're used to that normal stationary target, he's so much more complex. And you see, and he obviously fantastic puncher too. But the footwork is off the charts. It's just such a different thing. There's levels to everything. And you, I guess, realized that when you went from heavyweight to training with Mark.
205 yep. But like when you said the footwork thing, one thing I seen in MMA, the Holloway-Ortega fight.
Yeah.
I feel like in my mind, I feel like I was watching Lomachenko MMA, how Holloway was like hitting angles. Because Brian isn't like a mover type. He's just a gamer. He's biting down. He's gritty. He's ready to go. And it seemed like as the rounds, like third, fourth, and fifth round, or third and fourth round, like when he would go to punch, Max would switch southpaw. Bow, bow. And when he go to counter, he go back with the hook this way. And it was just like, yo, his footwork right now was like, I watched it probably like 7 times just studying his feet. Like, how is he? And he never lost balance one time. And I was like, this is just incredible. I love watching that. Like you said, a dance. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Max is very good at distance control. He's one of the very best at just moving slightly out of range, then right back in. And he puts a lot of pressure on you because of that too. If he catches you breathing heavy, if he sees any slowing down in you, he starts pouring it on. Like he starts trying to get you to wilt. He sees it. It's very interesting how he does it too, because he overloads you not just with his attack, but also with all the variables that you see, the combinations, the switching, the putting pressure on you. There's so much going on that you're always thinking about it, and it's just that on top of it makes you more tired.
Yeah, he's good at smelling the blood.
Yeah, he's good at
He knows a lot of people. I know that's one thing I'm not good at. I'm working on it. Mark was telling me the other day, like, I want to start finishing people with the hands. Like, you had so many fights where you couldn't, but you hit a guy with a combo and you take a shot. Like, the guy will be rocked. You just don't see it. And instead of keep punching him, you would shoot. He'll stop punching, you would shoot on him. It's like I hit guys with combos, and like when I go to the boxing, they're like, bro, you box like you a boxer, but you go into your fights and you box just to get to your takedowns. But that's because I'm a wrestler.
Yeah.
I can box. I don't have to, but I will.
Do you think there's a worry, though, when you're trying to finish fights versus just trying to fight your best? I think guys should just fight their best, and if a finish comes, it comes. I'm of the opinion that. I'm of the opinion that when people make big mistakes, and I wouldn't discourage anybody from going crazy. If someone likes to go crazy, they like to fight wild, hey man, that's you. That's your style. That's how you express yourself. Nothing wrong with it. But if I was going to give some advice, they said, what should I do? I want to have a long career as a professional. I'd say fight your best. Don't worry about the outcome. Just fight your best. And if you fight your best and if you connect and someone gets hurt and you put them away, that's great. But if you just win, that's great too. Just fight your best. The more you can do what you can technically and take as little damage as possible, that's a good fight.
And that's, like I said, that's something else. The OSP fight, Mark said it. Like, you just got to smother this guy whole camp. Like, he's got that good kick. And the OSP fight and Gian Vellante, the 2 fights Mark called, the only things I can get knocked out with. He said, with Gian Vellante, the only thing this guy can knock you out with is an overhand right. He said, you got to bring that jab right back after. You got a good jab, but bring your hands back because he times that overhand right so smooth. And even in between rounds, like, you eating overhand right. I know it's not hurting you, but it only takes one. It takes one. Keep that hand up. Keep that hand up. And sure enough, to this day, he said, remember I told you overhand right? And then with OSP, it's like, the only thing I can get you with is that left kick. If you stay close to him, keep the pressure, keep him on the cage. When he's down, he stand up, bring him back down. Don't listen to the fans. People are going to boo. They're going to get in your head and make you want to strike, trying to get in that fight. That's what they want to see. But we just trying to get the win. Don't go right and keep pressure. Do not go right and keep pressure. If you watch that fight, the whole 2 rounds, pressure. Not going right, going left. Put him to the cage, take him down, keep him down in the cage. He stand up, bring him back. 3rd round, I took him down. He popped up when I was against the cage. I can remember hearing people say, oh, let's stand up and fight, stand up and fight. And I backed away for a second. I started moving. Like, all right, I'm going to play from the outside a little bit. And I went right into the head kick. And I was like, and when I came, first thing Mark said in the back, like, bro, you look phenomenal. You just went right. Like, you look great. You just went right. Everything was beautiful that fight. That was your breakthrough fight. You just went right. But we're going to go back. You're going to do better. I know you will. And now it's just like, after that, like I said, I went to drawing board. It was like, fuck what the fans say. We
fuck
winning.
What the fans say.
But like you said, when you and Shah was on, I listened before, and you say, I beat Lil Latifi, I beat this, but you don't hear my name. It's because I'm not trying to do the stuff that's exciting anymore. I'm just winning. And my style ain't exciting to them, but that's because you're not a mixed martial arts fan. You're a fan of a knockout, or you're a fan of some fancy stuff. They talking Johnny Walker of this and this. Johnny Walker hasn't shown mixed martial arts yet. He's shown fancy stuff that knock people out. It looks great, yes. But just like Anthony Smith and all those guys, when they get in front of somebody like John Jones, and you can't hit him with that one punch, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? So that's the thing I say. Right now, I'm not fighting. He said, when are you going to fight? I don't know, but I'll be ready because I can do everything.
Yeah, we were just talking about Johnny Walker. He's in surgery now. He had to go through surgery for his shoulder because of
that celebration.
That celebration, which is so crazy. He wins. He beats Sirkunov with a beautiful timed knee, perfect flying knee, looks fantastic, and then drops to the ground just playing around and blows his fucking shoulder out. It's crazy.
That's the game. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. When it happens like that, it's like, God damn, man, you're so promising. What gets people excited when people finish fights, right? When people KO people. And so a lot of times people try to lean towards that. But if that's not your style, you should fight the way you're. If I was in your corner, first of all, I'd say listen to Mark Henry. Mark Henry knows everything. And then second of all, I'd say don't change shit, man. What you're doing is perfect. Just fight the way you're fighting. The way you're fighting is just you're winning. You win. You're. I just think that it should be emphasized always to fight the best you can. Fight intelligently. And you got to decide, and everybody has to decide, when is it time to take a risk? When is it time to close the distance? When is it time to put pressure on someone and throw yourself into the fire to try to get a finish? And if you just think you should just fight technically, look, man, fucking Floyd Mayweather's done that most of his career, especially like later on when he was Pretty Boy Floyd. Earlier on in his career, he was trying to knock a lot of guys out. But later on in his career, in most of his big fights, like with Pacquiao and a lot of other guys, he just wins. He just wins, and he makes more money than anybody. Just wins.
Trust me. In my mind, I know exactly. I'll tell you, when I get into sparring, sparring is when I want to work on things.
Yeah.
Every Saturday going to sparring, me and my wife, Josh, like, what are we working on today? We're going to try to work on putting a little more emphasis on the punches and not shoot right away, blah, 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 on the ground, more ground and pound. Don't worry about the jiu-jitsu submission. Just hit this and this. When it's come time to fight, when that lights come on Saturday night and Joe or Bruce Buffer in there and you sit at the side, it's a whole different game plan. I know what I can do. I know what's right. And that's why I get into those spots. It ain't like I tell myself, take a shot. It's muscle memory. Right. I hit him. He put his hands up and he stopped. The legs was wide open.
Of course.
I was an NCAA All-American, NCAA finalist. Why wouldn't I shoot? I take him down.
Exactly.
And if you look at my last 3 fights, I feel like going back and watching them, those you can't say I'm one-sided because Ilir, everybody's like, oh, no way he can wrestle Ilir. Ilir is way more powerful and a better wrestler. He wrestled for the where he's from, Albanian world team. He couldn't take me down, and I outstruck him. You went to Glover, like, oh, Glover's a finisher and a jiu-jitsu guy. If Corey goes to the ground with him, it's over. And he can knock Corey out. I outstruck him, out-wrestled him, and got him in mount, and had him in side guard. I had his back. I had every position on him. So you can't say I don't have jiu-jitsu, I don't have wrestling, I don't have striking, because I'm there. And then Pat Cummins, everybody like, oh, he was an NCAA D1 All-American, this and this. He beat DC at the OTC. He's going to kill Corey in wrestling. Stopped his takedown and set the record with 13 takedowns on him, who had the record at 11. It's like, I don't understand the fans. Everybody got something to say.
But if you listen to people too much, Corey.
And that's the problem. My wife said all the time, like every morning, she's like, no negativity today.
You should just stay the fuck offline. That's what you should do. Don't read that shit.
Because now I'm doing the hunting stuff. And when I post the stuff, it's like, it'll pop, someone pop up. And then
MMA
you see
questions.
It. Yeah, or at the top of the screen, it'll drop down or it'll pop up in the notification, or I get a email notification. Somebody said, and you see half of it. And I'm like, don't open it. Don't open it. Then I'm driving, like, I wonder what the rest of it say. It could be a good thing. It might be bad. And I actually open it up later on, and there's somebody saying something bad. And it's just like my wife just said, she's like, I see it, just don't pay no attention to it. But
you're allowing negativity into your life that you don't need. I mean, you think about your camp, you got all these positive people, all these motivated people, all these professionals, exceptional human beings, right? Everybody training and grinding together. And then you got schmoes that are contacting you on Twitter or Instagram or whatever and just saying a bunch of nonsense. And that can fuck with your head. And these are not people that would ever say that if they were in front of your face. Yeah. It's a gross way to communicate. It's not it's like It's like passing by a shitty fast food restaurant and being drawn in to eat. And then you eat and you're like, God, why did I eat that garbage? It's the same thing. It's like you're eating, it's like fast food for your brain. It's so tempting because you just want to read those comments. And most of the people are probably good people who are fans. Most of them. But all it takes is 10% assholes and you never want to look at your comments again. 1 out of 10. It's not hard to get 10%. 10% assholes is like pretty damn good in the real world. If you only run into 1 out of 10 that's an asshole, or 1 out of 100. Even if it was 1 out of 100 in your comments that are shitty, you don't want to read those comments. Yeah. It's just for a fighter, man. It's so much of it is about mindset and just being focused and not having any distractions. And I think those comments are a giant distraction. You don't need anybody telling you what to do. You got Mark fucking Henry. You got Ricardo Almeida. You got all these world champions around you. Like, you don't need any other information. You're getting plenty of information. Fuck all that shit. You shouldn't even look at it. Yeah. You should post and just run away. Just post something and don't even look at it. Don't even read. Keep going. Just keep going. I got to work it. I know I got to work on it. Because what you're saying right now, all the things you were saying about beating Glover, about beating Ilir Latifi, but you're saying it like you're arguing with somebody. You're saying like someone told you can't do it. But who gives a fuck what they said? You did do it. So why argue with someone who clearly doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about anyway? Right? But in your head, you're like, they said I couldn't do this. So you still have that... See, you know what I'm talking about. You have that battle
100%. Because Mark, they tell me all the time, like, bro, quit feeding. Like,
don't even read it.
Where I come from, me and my brother, we also had that mentality. Like, people like to talk this and this. Yeah. We weren't the type we ain't gonna sit there and talk back and forth. It's like, all right. And my first response to anybody, they talking shit like, all right, put your hands up. I'm ready to fight. Like, you say, I'm gonna prove you wrong. That's always been my time. Like, they always said, Corey couldn't do this. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do this. My whole life. Like in college, like, Corey, you're not good enough to go to Midlands. We only take 5 guys on the team, and I'm guaranteed coach ain't going to take you. But the 2 years I was there, I was the guy that went to Midlands the first pick every time. Like, I'm always shooting to prove somebody wrong.
Do you feel like that's a part of your motivation?
Yes. It's always been that way.
But your motivation is obviously excellent. So there's no way it could just be to prove someone wrong as hard as you work.
No, but that's how I got to the mentality and the work ethic I got. Because in high school, I wasn't like this. I sucked in high school. I lost.
What way?
I didn't win a match till I was a sophomore in high school.
Really?
I've been wrestling since 3rd grade. Like, I was ass-tastic and I was horrible. Like,
why?
I got beat one time. The coach left me. They loaded the bus and left me sitting there.
Because you got beat the way you got beat?
Yes.
They didn't want to bring you home?
It wasn't. I got beat the way I got beat. I lost to a girl, Joe.
You lost to a girl?
Dead ass. I didn't have the mentality. When I got off the mat, the team was gone. When outside, the bus was gone. Only reason I got home because the varsity came for a duel that night. And the coach was like, why are you still here?
Wow, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's a ruthless coach.
But that's the thing. I was that boy, like they got the little boy that cried wolf. I was always trying to get out of workouts. I was fat. I was lazy. At the time growing up, I loved the outdoors, but I loved video games. I loved eating junk. I didn't always have this mindset. So when it came to the point when I wanted to do good, and I took my very first injury, sophomore year in high school before conference, I snapped my ankle clean through. And I remember everybody, when I was in there hurt. First time I was actually hurt, but I had faked so many injuries. Even the coach came up and was like, tell me, get up, Corey, I was faking. Everybody's running sprints, so you get up. Because they all thought I was faking. But I was actually hurt. And my buddy stopped practice. He grabbed me and took me to the trainer. Even the trainer was like, I was probably a sprain, he'll be fine. I went to the doctor. My dad came and got me. Went there. They did an x-ray. And there was like this much bone holding my foot from falling off my leg. Like, your ankle is like pretty much shattered. Why didn't nobody bring you in? Like, they kept saying there was nothing wrong. And I went back to the x-ray. And they was all like, oh, bro, we're so sorry. Like, you have been, like, for so long, since I've been wrestling since 3rd grade, I did it because my brother did it.
Right.
And I want to do everything he did. But I didn't have the drive he had. But after that, seeing the way everybody kind of like dogged me out, I remember coming back from recovery from that. And the first time I ran after that injury, and even in my mind, like, I can't run. They said I can't run yet. And I did. And I was limping. And I was scared it was going to break again. But I made it to where I was going. I was like, bro, I can do this. It's all here now. That's my real, everything is mentality. Like, I never had any problem. I was just lazy. I didn't want to work. So I was finding a way out. And after that, the next year, you can ask the coach. They told my parents I got moved to the varsity tournament, the first or second match. And I took 2nd and 3rd in the varsity tournament after wrestling JV4 the year before. And I lost to the guy that won the thing. The difference between Corey now is night and day. It's because I realized if I put my mind to it and just quit working. My dad said it too. That's the thing. My dad pushed it on so young, at such a young age. My brother got it. He was a star athlete, but he didn't get the openings and the opportunities I had, you know, because he was always working for my father and working here and working there. He didn't have the time to do camps and all that. Me being the youngest, it was a little easier for me. I seen what he did, what he told me, what my brothers, my sisters, and teammates and all the different people around me had done. I knew the way I needed to go to get somewhere. But being a star athlete, a professional athlete was never a goal of mine. I wanted to be an engineer. I love building clubhouses and shit like that. That was what I wanted to do.
Wow.
But all that opened doors. I wanted to go to school to University of Wisconsin-Platteville for the engineer program. But just like sports, my grades was ass. I didn't try myself. I went there to hang out with my friends and be cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? When I applied, they messaged me back saying your GPA isn't good enough. The wrestling coach wanted me there because by the end I was good in wrestling. My last 2 years, I killed it. I never made the state, but I killed it in the regional and sections. I went all the way up to sections and lost in the finals. You had to win that or third, whatever. But they said you can't get here, but you got to go to junior college. You get your GPA up, we can get you in. Again, I went there. I didn't plan on wrestling anymore. I loved wrestling. I cried when it was over. But then a guy, Dave Clem, Matt Hughes' old coach. That's how I met Matt Hughes through Lincoln College. He reached out to me. It was like, I heard about you. You got the mentality of a warrior. Like, you work hard. You're a workhorse. I need somebody like you to come here and work for me. I can't give you a scholarship because you didn't do much. I don't have money left. I give you $1,800. It was $27,000. I thought I was on like a full ride. I'm like, oh, I'm getting money. You know, I went there excited, determined to get there. And everybody like, oh, you never made a state. You're not going to do good. This and this. So again, that was motivation from right there. Going to school, like, they don't think I can do this. My grades aren't good enough. They don't think I can get education. I'm not good enough at sports. They don't think I'm an All-American. They think I'm going to go there and just be another member of the team. I went there. I cut up, but right before the season, snapped my leg in 3. Thought it was over again. And that coach was like, I saw you fire.
A different leg injury.
The same leg, but a different injury. Like 3 years later.
Let me bring it back to the first one. That injury is what changed you?
Well, I got tired of people thinking I was faking.
So because you were injured for real, and people thought you were faking it, you realized something was wrong.
I realized I had been lazy. And my father, my whole life, you go to my old house right now in the garage, it's still carved in there. I never forget that. It was probably like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock school night. My dad woke me and my brother up to help him do some stuff on the boat. And we tired, you know. We want to go to bed, and we out there complaining the whole time. He said, my dad, if you met, my dad is the most motivating person ever. Don't have an education, nothing, but he started his own business from the ground up, and he's living the dream, hunting properties, whatever he want, he can do it. And that's where I got it from. But it took me forever to realize this. And I'll never forget the day. It comes to me all the time. I think about it. He stood up on the boat and was up against the garage door. Brand new garage door. He just put up. You know, one thing I hate, I cannot stand, is lazy. And he took his drill and he cut L-A-Z-Y in the back of his brand new garage door. And it's still there till this day. Wow. When I go home and I visit, I go to that garage and you'll see it cut in the door, lazy. And he cannot stand it. And if you know him, the way he works, he's just turned 59 Tuesday. And I could, in his voice, when I said, you're at the job site, aren't you? Oh, he's there working. He got a bunch of 20-year-olds, 30. He outworks everybody. 59 years old, up and down the ladder, running the crane, driving the truck to the shop. And that's it. He always said when I was a kid, son, it can only last so long. I never understood what he said. He used to come up to me on the football field. I'd be crying and moping. It can only last so long, son. Keep going. It can only last so long. I said, like, what you mean? Why you always say that? And then later on, when it started getting hard, I started thinking, like, practice, looking at the clock. It's like 45 minutes, but it can only last so long. And click, like, oh, shit. That's what my dad meant all these years. It can only last so long. Just grind. Just go.
Just go.
Just put your nose down and get to it.
So you have this injury sophomore year, your ankle snaps, and you realize you've been lazy. So what shifted in your mind? How did you change?
Just stop worrying about excuses to get out of practice and figure out reasons to stay. Was it immediate
or was it a gradual change?
As I was healing. You know, I was on bed rest for a while. It was so bad, and people come in and out, and my brother used to come over at the time he was playing football and whatever, and watching his games. It's just like sitting there for so long, away from all the sports and all your friends, and just sitting there, just yourself. And I just realized, like, I've been doing this since 3rd grade. I've seen this stuff a million times. I know the moves, I just don't apply it. And I think when I get back, if I actually start trying and drilling and actually practicing and getting that extra workout in, I could cut up. And sure enough, that's what happened.
So what was the first step?
When I came back, it was with that first run. I was literally, my dad's shop is probably 200 yards from my house, and it was raining. That's all. That's the only reason why I ran, because I didn't want to get wet. I was like, I'm about to run to the house, and I'm thinking like, but this leg, I don't know if I can make it. And then right then, that doubt in my mind, like, why are you telling yourself you can't make it?
How many months out from the injury?
I broke it in January or December, And this was summertime, so it was long. Like, I had the cast on for like 5-6 months. So
really?
Yeah. And then I went to the air boot. It was bad.
5 or 6 months.
It was bad. And then, like, right now, I got the plate and the screws in there, but I broke some of the screws because I was, like, trying to move in a wrestling stance in my boot, and I slipped. My dad had the tile or the cement, and he had the little gloss over it, and I was washing the cars one day, and I was like, I'm just going to, in my shadow stand, I don't know when I slipped on the wet spot, and I slipped, I felt it. And 2 of the pins that go across my ankle had snapped. So I had to wait for all that to heal again.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was a whole process. So I was laid up for a while.
Snap the pins?
The 2, I still got the 2 long screws that they take out. They leave the 7 and go up the femur or the tibia. But the 2 long ones they're supposed to pull out. But the middle, when I slipped, they broke in half of my bone. So that made the bone heal slower. Because now it's just a little spot they drilled through. It opened up like that much more. So you had to wait for all that to heal before I could actually walk.
Did they take the screws out and put new ones
in there?
They just so you got broken screws in your ankle.
If you look at, like, when I work out, I'm like, bro, your ankle is fat as hell. That's because the plate and the screws are so long, the ankle won't, the swelling and everything.
Different
exactly.
than the other angle?
Yeah.
Let me see
bone heals around
it. Which ankle?
So if you look.
That's a fat ankle.
Yeah, that's the fat one.
And that's the normal one. See, that one's pretty fat too.
Well,
you got some big ankles, dude. Oh yeah, that's a big difference. Yeah.
So like when I get done training,
yeah,
this one is like this big because all the blood and everything's flowing around the screw.
Wow.
So
does it fuck with you anymore? Like when it gets cold out or anything?
I mean, I feel it, but again, mental. Everything is mental to me now.
Right.
Everything in life, she hates it because I tell her all the time. She has a negative insight on something. Like, find the positive in it. Like, it's all in your mind, babe. You can make the best out of anything. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, this and this happened. Like, well, you could be dead or you could. Like, it's always something worse.
You could have no legs.
Like, she got her car smashed at work. Somebody hit the side of it and tore it all up and had to go in the shop. And I was like, the windows didn't break, though. I was like, think about it. It dries and your windows ain't broke. I'm like, it's the middle of winter. It ain't got to be cold. Think about that. It could have totaled the car. Hurt. Yeah, it's like it's a million different things you can find to be sad. But find the good things and find the positive. It's going to get fixed eventually.
So this ankle fucks with you still, but not enough to stop you.
Nothing to stop me.
Yeah. And but does it affect you at all when you kick things?
Depends.
Yeah, they dig in.
Like if they go to do the elbow, like when I go to kick the liver and they go to sit on it, and like the elbow kind of catch it, I feel it. But again, it doesn't stop me.
Right.
It only lasts so long.
Sensation.
15 minutes, that's nothing.
It only lasts so long.
Only lasts so long. I'm going to bounce this out and keep going.
Yeah. So you get out of the injury, you have the cast on you for 5 or 6 months, you realize how blessed you were to be able to move around, and that feeling once you get your leg back under you and start moving again. What is the changes you make? How do you start to move your life in this positive way?
Well, after I made that first jog and I realized I'm good. Like, I first doubted myself, but I made it because I told myself I can do it. I made it here. There's no injuries. I'm fine. And I was just slow and steady. Just start hand fighting, like with the little, they got to take down dummies that hang on the wall. Just go there and move, nothing fast. Just work hand fighting. Just kind of grab the leg, working my shots in and out. In the morning before practice, I used to go watch the guys for off-season practice, study. And then when I came back, it was just, I would have the heavyweight coach like, Coach, can we drill today? I'm like, you asking me to drill? Like, yeah. Coach can see us. I just want to work with you. I just want to do a little bit of extra stuff. And after practice, he'd work with me. Then the other coach would come work with me. It got to the point where, like, in the morning, I was in there before school, and I was there after school for practice. And I would stay after with coach and drills, different stuff.
They must have been so confused.
They didn't, like the coach said, it's night and day. Like, the difference between Corey and I is night and day.
That must have been so strange. You have this lazy kid, and all of a sudden he becomes a savage.
They have, when I go back to the school and I visit, they always ask me to come talk to these people. They call me a success story. Not only was this, but I grew up in an area where there was no black people. I was the only black family there. So we had racism my whole life. You know what I mean? Dealing with that stuff, that's another that was the mental fucks of it all. Like, no matter what I did, you're going to be wrong. Like, I was another Corey Anderson, too. That was even worse. And he was actually a troublemaker. So when he would get in trouble, they would always come get me out of the classroom. Like, it was Corey, and I would get pulled. I'm like, I ain't even did it. I was a good kid. Never did nothing wrong. Like, I'm down in the office, and the principal walk in like, wrong Corey. I'm like, of course it's the wrong Corey. It's every time. I remember Corey Richard Anderson and Corey C. Anderson. I'm Corey C. He's Corey Richard. But they always pulled me in there. And it was just because it was only a few of us in my high school. And the fact that I never did drugs. Just like when we was on the ring, I said, I want to come to your show and shoot with you. I don't want to smoke with you. I never did drugs. I don't do none of that. I've been a good kid. But to deal with that stuff, I used to get pulled over for no reason. I had a nice truck, S10, drops to the ground with rims and speakers. I used to get pulled over, and me and my friends get put in cuffs and sit on the curb while they search the car looking for something. When I went to college, it was the same thing. Get pulled over all the time. And teacher wouldn't be like, every time you late for class, you say you got pulled over. Like, I was telling Will on the way here, like, I'm serious. I have classmates that saw him. Like, no, he's telling the truth, Miss Starks. We saw him on the side of the road. Like, he always gets pulled over because nice vehicle, black. They always think it's something. You know, and that's just where I'm from. So dealing with that and the mentality I finally figured out, like I said, that's why when people doubt me, I think, trying to prove wrong. Because I had coaches in high school. I won't put names on air, but I remember even when I was doing good, I knew I was doing good because I had led the team in sacks. I didn't start. You know what I mean? I laid the starting lineman out or beat this guy and this and that and this and that, and I never got the position or something was around it. And then when I came back after I made it to the UFC, like, oh, yeah, I remember this. Like, I ain't trying to hear that. And the only coach in that high school I would say that believed in me was a wrestling coach, Marty Kaiser. Marty Kaiser made everything possible to let me meet Dave Clem, who was my junior college coach, who led me to Russ Davey, who led me to Ben Askren, who Tim Fader, and everything. And I've been blessed with the people in my life that bring me to Frankie and Mark and Ricardo. And I got like the ultimate people around me. Like my mom says, you've always been blessed to have a good circle of people. And the 1 year I had a bad coach in college, it's like my mom said, we didn't have so much good. Don't let this one coach defeat you. Now, I'll never forget him, Jason Valek. I'll put his name on the air. That guy, that made me the toughest man I could. Because no matter what I did, he wanted to make sure he could break me. He had control over me. I was 16 hours away from home in South Carolina, no family, no money. He had me on a full ride, and he would just use that. I got you here. You here because of me. You do this, or I'm going to cut you. Cut me then. Fuck. He cut me. All right, you off the team. All right, I go get recruited, and he put me back on the team. You still in NLI. You can't do that. This is this. So it's kind of like, I think that's where I got the mentality where I want to prove people wrong because I beat the starter. And I beat him bad, 13-1, 12-1. Every time I wrestle, I beat him, but you still not starting. What the fuck you making me wrestle him off for? Like, I done beat him every time. Well, you lost him the first duel of the match by riding time. The first week of school, not beat him every time. But you're not going to let me start? Nope, because he pins people, and you only get points. Kind of like fighting. Like, he knocks people out, and you only win by decision. And that's kind of like, all right. So I left, went to Whitewater, where I met Ben and everything else. Again, went there. The coach knew who I was. Nobody else knew who I was because I didn't get to wrestle the year before. I was a bench warmer. The killer on the team, but never wrestled.
That's so crazy.
Killer, never wrestled. My parents would drive 16 hours to watch me duel, and he'd make me sit the bench the whole tournament. It'd be a tournament. He'd be like, you're not wrestling today. My parents would be like, you're not wrestling today. Like, my parents drove 6. You're not wrestling. Like, you got me 8 hours from the school. My parents drove all the way up, and I can't wrestle.
What was this guy's problem?
We don't know. I got teammates now, and guys are still fighting and everything. And they're like, bro, you got out of there. And like a lot of guys, he had them there academically. He's like, oh, we're going to short credit you, this and this. You're going to do half credits, but you're going to be able to wrestle.
So he was just a dick to a lot of guys.
He just wanted to win. That was it. So like guys would finish their wrestling career, but they didn't have their credits to graduate. Like, coach, I need help. Like, what can I do? You don't wrestle for me no more. It's like, bro, I'm only here because of you. But I left. He kept hitting me up like, oh, you keep coming back, and next year I'll let you start next year if you beat him again.
Fuck you.
And I was like, you exactly what I said. I went to the AD office, told him what was going on. They gave me my letters to let me transfer out, but I couldn't go Division II. Like, you can leave, but you can't go Division II. He can't hold you back anymore. Like, that's fine. I'm out. I left like a month before school ended. He showed up at my house one day. He's like, where are you? I'm at your house. Like, I'm gone, bro. Like, what do you mean I'm gone? Like, I'm done. I'm transferring. Like, you can't. I showed him the papers. Like, how did you get that? Like, I went behind your back. I got it done. I'm out of there. And then Tim Fader, the coach at Whitewater, I remember he pulled up at my house. I almost didn't go back to school because he kind of got in my head. Like, I don't want to go nowhere else and waste my last year of school doing the same shit. I can't trust anybody. I took, 6th the year before an injury, but I was beating everybody. You know, I only lost to D1, D2 guys. And so it was like, I don't want to go anywhere else and somebody going to screw me over a full ride. But then this guy pulled up in my driveway when I was working one day. He was like, I'm looking for Corey Anderson. I've seen him before, but I didn't really know much about him. And we went to lunch or whatever. He was like, I know your story, but the thing is, I can't give you a full ride because of D3. We can't give money, but I want you to wrestle for me. This and this. And like I said, when I went D3, nobody knew who I was because I didn't get to wrestle. But he knew, like, we're not even going to let you wrestle for a while. So I thought right after the get-go, like, what the fuck? You fucking like this? Like, what the fuck? He's like, no, it ain't that. He said, I don't want people to know what we got. We're going to wait till the first home duel, and I'm going to let you loose. And the first home duel, I had the number 3 dude in the country. And I'll never forget that week. He said, you ready? Like, what you mean? Like, it's the time. You get to come out. Gave him my single. Like, you ready to show out? Like, you know I'm ready. dogged the number 3 guy out by like 12 points. And I was like, who the fuck is this kid? He was like, yes, I'm finally home. And then shortly after, I met Russ Davey, a guy who came from Colorado who coached in Wisconsin. He was my heavyweight coach, Olympic guy. And then he brought in Ben Askren. That's how I got into fighting. And Ben, it was just like I said, the people around you, it just mold you. Like, I'm blessed. I'm sitting here thinking about it. And it makes me feel good because all the things I've been through and everything, it all worked out.
Yeah, like having that dick coach probably helped you.
It helped me. It wasn't about, and my coach told me when I signed, like, coach, give me a full ride. That's one thing I kept saying. They give me a full ride. He kept saying, Corey, it ain't all about the money. Like, it's the most decision in your life. It's not about the money. Coach Klemp and Stephen Bradley, and they both said, like, it's not about the money, Corey. Remember, it's the most important decision of your life. Don't let the money fuel you. But that's what it was for me. Mm-hmm. I went to school as a walk-on pretty much. Now I'm getting full ride offers from everywhere. And now I'm going to a #1 school, Division II, and they give me a full ride. Like, I thought that was something. When I got there, I figured out what he meant. And I'll never forget calling both coaches, like, you guys are right. And I'm back home now, and I'm trying to figure out what's now. Like, well, you can go NAI. I know a few schools that want you. It's good coaches, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm just going to chill and think about it. When that coach came, and the fact that he came to my house, reached out to me, he told me, I can't give you money, but I want you for you and as a leader. And when I first got there, even though he told me he wasn't going to let me wrestle, he let me run practice for like the first month because he couldn't teach it before season got there. Like, I want you to like run practice, this, and this, because you got that mentality. You can help these guys show what you did in D2, the #1 school. You can show us stuff here. I ended up being the first NCAA All-American or NCAA finalist the school had in 22 years. I led the team in takedowns all the way up until like the regional tournament. My roommate beat me. We had a competition going on. I did a lot of things that most people didn't see heavyweights do. The way I shot, the way I wrestled, my mentality. I was always working. I was in there doing strength and conditioning before practice. And before the morning, like 6 o'clock, we had strength and conditioning. And I got a class at 1. I'd be in the gym lifting and doing circuit training till 3. And it went from just me to me and my teammate, or me and my roommate, to other teammates. And like you said, people would see how you doing it, and they would jump in. And before you know it, was like 6 or 7 of us working out in the field house. Yeah. And we're just motivating each other.
Yeah.
And the bond we had there as a team, like I remember getting there and everybody's like, oh, what's our goal? One thing I thought about was nationals. Everybody like, oh, we want to win nationals or win conference. Look like, why the fuck y'all talking about conference? That's like the first step. You got conference, regionals, all this national. What about the big picture? Like, oh, well, we would never won conference before. And I was like, we should still want to get nationals. And like by the end of the year, everybody was feeding off each other. We had 3 guys from the same high school, me to 97, 87 or 84 pounds, excuse me. And they called us a high nigga death row because that was our school and like death row, Suge Knight and all that. So one guy printed up shirts and it was us 3. And it was so cool to have 3 guys that was from the same school. We grew up right down the street from each other, but we all went separate ways. One went here, one went there. We ended up in junior college together, me and the one guy. At the end, our very last year, we all ended up together as a team captains. Senior year is our last time to do it together, the hoorah. Wow. And we brought, like, our whole high school would come to all our matches. And it was only like an hour from home. It was just cool, man. And that was, like I said, when I met Ben there and he brought me to this thing, and I didn't want to fight. Again, I had a doubt in my mind.
I want to go to that, but I want to go back to your high school days when you made that big shift. Did you slip at all? Like you went from being a guy who was kind of lazy and undermotivated to a guy who's very disciplined, that it was like night and day. But was there ever a time where you fell back to your old ways?
I mean, there was times like it took a lot of motivation and pep talk to myself to get out and do something. There'd be times like I wanted to, instead of go work out, go play video games. Right. So I was big in a dirt bike and a 4-wheeler. And like when I get off the bus, you can hear the dirt bikes come to my house. I had the motocross track in my backyard. Me and the neighbor, he had a freestyle track, I got a dirt bike track. And I'll get off the bus and be thinking like, all right, I'm about to go do my homework. And I had to go do a little workout, lift or something. And you hear him coming. It's like, oh, but I want to go ride instead. I want to go ride. But at the same time, like, you're a wrestler. You're a wrestler. Figure out the two. Which one is first? I let the guys go ride in my track, and I'll do push-ups or whatever and do my homework. Whatever it was I do, just a little something. As long as I get something. If I did a little bit of something, that's more than the next person.
Right.
By the time my senior year came around, it was kind of like I still wasn't all in, but I was a little more. I didn't get all in until after that second injury in college.
And the second injury in college was the same injury, same leg?
Same leg, different injury.
What'd you do this time?
I snapped my leg in 3.
What
Freak
happened?
accident. To this day, I just remember hearing the pop.
Was it wrestling?
Wrestling. Me and my coach drilling. Very slow drilling, but we had brand new mats. So they were super sticky. And I had brand new wrestling shoes, which were super sticky. And I remember the drill, Coach Morgan was like, all right, so we're going to work the chain wrestling. I shoot a single leg. You get the single back. When I shoot a double, you bump with the hips, you snap to your shot. He grabbed a single leg. I snapped the foot down. He shot it up. When I hit him with my hips, I fell backwards and you hear a pop. But I didn't feel it. And he stood over me. I remember standing over, feet over both sides, like, don't look down. What you say? Don't look down. Now, somebody tell you, don't look, you gonna look. I looked, and my foot was like pointed like this, and it was down. I was like, I turned my back, I started armor crawl. We got a pool on the other side of the door, and I'm trying to get to the door and just drown myself in pain. Not a pain kick, I'm trying to get in the pool.
You're trying to get in the pool?
Deep end. I'm trying to drown, but like it hurt. Like I was like, I would have died. So I'm just going. I remember flipping me over.
You're trying to drown?
This shit go through your mind when shock hit. When shock, things that hit you, you don't think.
That's a crazy thing to think. I'm gonna go drown myself.
It hurt, Joe.
Oh,
you ever snapped your leg?
No.
You know the nerves.
No.
You know how that feel to have not one spot, 3 spots. So it's like shooting up your whole leg to your back. It's like all the way to the shoulders. The point is like, I just want this over with. It's like, I'm just gonna go jump in the water. That's
wow.
First thing in my mind is go bear crawl, fall in the water.
That's a crazy instinct, man.
I wasn't the most sane kid, but that was the most certain. That was the first thing in my mind. Go find the water. Just end it. You know, and they flipped me over. And I remember they threw it up on a punching bag.
So it had nothing to do with the old injury.
Nothing to do with it's completely
just
different
a totally different
Probably
spot.
like 4 or 5 inches up from the old injury.
It just snapped.
Freak accident. That's what they kept saying in the hospital. It's a freak accident.
So what do they do then?
Go to the hospital that day and they snap. I remember the guy that snatches it back, pulls it and snatches and lines all the bones up, and they put it, like, we'll put it in the cast for now, but you got to get plates and pins to set this straight. And that one I was out for again. That was October 27th. And I came back. I got the release back January 13th or 14th. It was like a little bit before a regional. And we didn't have a heavyweight all year because I got hurt and the other guys got kicked out of school, whatever.
So 3 months-ish?
Yeah.
And you were
this
back?
One healed fat. Well, I wasn't back, but I was cleared to start drilling. And I remember begging the coach, like, Coach, just let me come back. I can save us 6 points because every time one guy don't wrestle, that's automatic 6.
Did they have to put plates in your shin?
On the side of my leg. I got a plate. You can feel it if you bring your hand up and down. It's like all bent up, and from now all the wars and shit, kicks and wrestling, it's like all wobbly, bent, warped, holes, all kinds of stuff.
From getting kicked?
Getting kicked in it, from wrestling. People do foot sweeps.
You ever get an x-ray of it to see what it looks like?
I haven't x-ray in forever. I should.
Like to see what it looks like.
Pretty bad by now. I remember my first tournament when somebody foot swept me. Oh my goodness, that feeling. Like, God had me in the underhook and he kicked that plate and I just fell. Like, he didn't even kick my foot, I just fell. Because it's the first time you feel it and that pain shit up, you've never felt it.
Right.
Your nerves run up and down that. So when it hit and everything just shut and I just fell. And he pinned me. I was like, Coach, like, what's wrong? Like, yo, my leg gave up. I'm still on the mat. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened. And like, your nerves, the trainer told me, like, you got nerves on the side of the leg. You run up the plate. What he did, he probably kicked it and hit the plate. And that was another thing I had to get in my mindset. Like, this is going to happen often. You just got to be able to toughen it up and just go through it.
Yeah, you have an extra vulnerable spot now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And have you been low leg kicked there a lot?
Oh, yeah. A Lear fight, he did it like 4 times.
Same spot?
Low leg kick.
Yeah.
It's just, like I said, I got to a point now where I just deal with it.
Yeah.
That was in 2007. This is 2019. It's 12 years of dealing with it. You get to a point where it's kind of like it's not really a pain anymore. It's just a pesky injury. You feel it. But
some of those injuries, they'll go in after it's healed up and take the plate out.
Yeah, they said they can.
Do you want to do that?
But to do that, because I got the broken pins, because those pins are so broke, they got to cut like a whole section out of my leg. Which I mean, I'll be out of commission for a long time. And I was like, I'm used to it now.
Is there any benefit if they do that?
I get my whole leg back. That's it. I get my leg back. That's the only benefit. So like I said, I can train, right? Yeah. Like, it's just going to bother you. Like, I deal with it.
Yeah.
When I retire, we do all that. But right now, there's no problem.
Wow. So you have this shift in high school. You make it to senior year, and you're a different person night and day, but you're still not the Corey Anderson of today. So the second injury, what does the second injury do for you when you snapped it?
The second injury, that was just, because I didn't get to show what I can do. It motivated me that much more that when I come back, I got to be undeniable. I got to show, I got to do. Like, nobody knows what I can do because I didn't make it to state my senior year in high school.
Right.
But then we went to team state, and I pinned the guy that took 4th in state. So I knew I could do it, but I just didn't make it there. So when I got hurt my freshman year, that was the year I was going to show people, Corey Anderson, what y'all used to know, what you think, this and this. Then I got hurt, and it kind of set me back. You know, it was just in my mind. I was sad. Like, I remember being at home, I was emotionally sad. But when I went to go back, and I couldn't focus on wrestling, I just put my mind on schoolwork. And that's when I figured out I can do schoolwork. I finished my freshman year with a 3.0 GPA after missing like 3-4 months. I had to make up everything and take tests. And that's when I realized like I can do that too. So that was the thing I got out of that injury. Not so much the athletics part. I was motivated to work even harder next year, but I found the fact that I can do schoolwork if I want to. Again, it's just a mental thing. I have to take the time to study. I had never studied before that, ever. Didn't do any homework. It was I borrow somebody's homework or take somebody's notes and try to fill in answers just to get something to say it was a completion credit. But when I had nothing to do, I couldn't wrestle. I couldn't run. I couldn't go play basketball in the back. But everybody else, it was the only thing I could focus on now is school. At the time when I came back, my GPA dropped like 2 point something because I hadn't been in class for so long. So I had to get all that up before the end of the year and finish with a 3.0 at least. And I finished with a 3.25. So that was to make academic All-American that was my highlight of my freshman year. I didn't get the wrestling All-American, but I had the academic All-American. That's something I can work on because as a kid, my mom in 8th grade bet me $100 I wouldn't graduate. My own mother, and my mom's my biggest motivation ever. Before my son came here, my mother was the hand that pushed me over everything. My dad comes with the work ethic. My mom is always make sure you do things right. You can do this and this. Always helped me. When I struggle with reading, she's helped me learn how to read faster, read better, and do things to the best of my ability in the academic world. Because sports and hard work is going to be there, but education is something you can always fall back on. But I was just so bad. I lived next door to the middle school, so I was bad. The 8th grade year, they opened a new middle school up the street from my house, so I would mess up from school. I don't do homework. I don't know why I would think I would get away with it. I'm getting out of class. My mom's sitting in the principal's office. Could have done it for a walk for her. They called like Corey didn't do his homework again because she was on it. She would call. Like if Corey messed up in school, call me. She had me in summer camp. I had to go to summer school one year when I passed all my classes because she wanted me to get that fact. Like just because you pass, they let you pass don't mean you did good. You pass, but you're going to learn how to work. But that was another thing. I didn't have the mentality that my mom wanted me to have when it come to working for academics and stuff.
So what made you do that? What was the shift that caused that from the injury? The second injury in college?
I had nothing else to focus on. It was either that or become a bum at the school, sit in my room, skipping class, and fell out. So I had to get my grades up if I wanted to wrestle next year.
So it'd probably been something that was bothering you already?
It didn't bother me. I didn't care about my grades because as long as I was athletic, doing athletics, the way it's kind of like the movies. If you competing and they know you're good, you're an asset to the team, the teachers help you. They they don't give you, but they help you out. You got questions, ask questions, they won't fail you. Right. You know, they gonna do everything they can to make sure I learn.
So were you realizing because of the injury that maybe your athletic career wouldn't be there and you needed to get this education?
If I did, because now I didn't have the help I had in class. When I was an athlete, they help you a little bit more. But now I'm not wrestling. It's kind of like my GPA doesn't matter for the team anymore. And I have been missing from school for so long. When I came back, it's kind of like now I got a lot to make up for. I just got to do it on my own. I was studying. That's all I had. Class in my dorm room. Class in my dorm room.
From that point on, from that injury, then you get your academic work in order and you start being disciplined in all areas of your life. And you feel like that carried over to your athletics as well?
Everything works together. Yeah. Everything works for one thing. And that's
talk about that.
Okay, like first thing we learn at orientation, the college coach comes to us, we go in the room like, guys, we got your athletic scholarship, but you're here as a student athlete. And I remember going back and coaching at the same college and him giving the same speech, and he write on the board, student athlete. We're going to make it in two parts. First part, student. Second part, athlete. So we're going to write it on the board. What does this mean? So first priority, school. After that, next priority, athletics to me. After that, you got your family. Then is making sure you stay out of trouble. And that the last thing, the very most important thing when it comes to college is just social life. The rest of that, everything else comes first. And at the end, then you worry about your friends and trying to be cool and all the extra stuff. You know, I'm 17 when I went to college. I graduated high school at 17. So I'm young. I'm not even an adult. But in my mind, I'm on my own. I'm doing what I want, blah, blah, blah. I'm showing out. I'm being an ass, you know? Right. Not like getting in trouble, but not paying attention to school. I'm not worried about the student part. I'm just an athlete. They're not going to ask questions, act like I'm struggling, and they trying to help me out, you know. But I know they're not going to give me an F because I'm trying, but I really wasn't. I'm asking questions. I'm sitting in front of class, so you're not going to give me an F, but they're going to make sure I'm eligible to wrestle, but I'm not going to fail. Right. So when you get injured, you realize that ain't there no more. because you ain't got nothing to wrestle for. You all school now. So now you can't say I got practice, so I can't study.
Was that a big eye opener for you when you realized that you can do good at school too?
Yes, 100%. Because in your whole life, when you didn't try, you didn't care, and it had that No Child Left Behind pretty much before they made it an official thing. It was always there. Because I know I didn't do enough in school, but somehow I graduated every year. Somehow I graduated because there's always one teacher, one person that looked out for me. Like I said, I've been blessed to have that. In middle school, it was Miss Vermette. To this day, we still talk. I go home, we have lunch, breakfast, whatever.
Really?
Yes. If it wasn't for her, I probably would have dropped out of high school.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So
in college, now your athletic career is in order. You're getting your schoolwork in. What was it that made you even consider being an MMA fighter?
Ben Askren.
Yeah. Funky Ben.
Funky Ben. And I didn't even consider. He tricked me.
How did he trick you?
I mean, all through college, I had teammates that did MMA. They all wrestled, but when it was over, they all was amateur MMA fighters. Corey, you should try it. Like, your movement and stuff, you're so light on your feet and fast as your weight, you can kill it. But I got metal plate in my leg, bro. I had tore my shoulder, and I got so many injuries I wouldn't be good. I'd be laid up too much. Like, I didn't like what you think, this and this. Denied it. My senior year, 5th year senior, Ben comes up, he started working with me. And Ben was like one of my main wrestling partners. And kind of like you say with Lemon Chaco, like you got somebody, you go to punch, he's not there. Ben's the same way in wrestling. And I used to try to pick his brain. Like, how do you do this? Like, I'll be dead to right on a double leg, pick you up in the air. I go to take you down, and I land on my face, and you're nowhere to be found. You on my back. Like, how does that happen? That's why they call me the Funk, man. I'm the king of the funk. The same hair, come in practice with sandals, kick it off, put his shoes on. He just looked like a flabby guy. Like, his guy.
That's the crazy thing about him. He doesn't look physically imposing at all. My first time going,
like, this is being like, no, I'm about to blow through this dude. Hit him with a double leg, gone. Every time, high crotch, gone. I took him down, I think, one time in my college career. Clean takedown. And it's just like, what the? And after college, I was like, I want to do the Olympics, bro. And you've been there, but I don't know any freestyle rules. Like, oh, we can work together, whatever. Him and my coach both wrestle at the Olympic level. Working together. And then one day he sent me an address, like, oh, I'm not making it here today, but meet me here at this address and we'll work, blah, blah, blah. Bring your gear. I get up there and it's Rufus Sport, but it's outside of a bank. It's still like it's underneath a bank downstairs.
Yeah, I've been.
So I'm looking like, where am I going? And I text him like, oh, go to the side. It's downstairs. You're going to see a sign, Roof for Sport, this and this. And I walk down the stairs like, what is? He must have mats in here or something. And I go in there and you got UFC there doing Anthony Pettis doing a jump off kick, making some photo for the magazine or whatever. And you got like Pascal Cruz and Sergio Pettis. You got Ben Askren. It was a few other, Eric Koch, other UFC guys. And I'm looking like, what is going on? All these guys hitting pads. They got MMA practice. And Ben around out the cage. Oh, hey, Corey, I'm glad you can make this and this. This ain't no wrestling gym. What is this? He's like, oh, yeah, well, I want to talk to you about that. Welcome to a new sport.
What?
It's like, I mean, I know I heard you say you didn't want to fight, whatever, but bro, I think you could be good. I just want you to try it. If you don't like it after you try it, we'll go back to wrestling. Blah blah blah. This and this. I'm like, all right. And I go to the front desk, and the lady I meet at the front desk to introduce me was my wife now. Didn't know that.
That's
Jenny sits at my desk like, what is this? So I get the gear. They give me some gloves and whatever. And I was like, I really don't want to do like the training. All right, sit on the side and watch. I hit the bag a little bit. I'm just watching. And at the time, this is when my mind's already set. You got an opportunity. You got to try it. But I didn't try it that day. I remember driving home. It was an hour and a half drive. Whole drive, I'm at myself like, you a bitch. Talking to myself like, you a bitch, Corey. You didn't do that. You had an opportunity. You ain't even take it. You a bitch. I can't believe you didn't do that. So I get home. I tell Ben, like, I'm sorry I didn't try, but I would like to do it again. Like, well, it's good because tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., we up there. All right, get up early, 7:35, motorcycle up, shoot all the way up to Milwaukee. I get there, Duke Roof open the door. Oh, Corey, nice to meet you. I heard about you. This and this. Like, I came yesterday, but I didn't do it, but I want to try it today. I just watched. Like, well, that's good. I'm glad you came. Like, why is that? Like, stay sparring day. like I had
spar with no sparring at all ever before?
I did amateur boxing when I broke my leg. Yeah. I did like boxing at the gym for rehab because my brother-in-law was a professional boxer at the time. And I had 2 amateur fights. And so I had that. And I came with my gloves and everything, but old ratty title gloves falling apart. And like, all I got is my gloves and my shorts. Like, don't worry, we got gear. We get you stuff, headgear and shin pads, this and this. They gave me 2 opposite combat corner shin pads. One was like a youth and one was like an extra large. So one covers my knee and one covered like half my shin. And like this old raggedy headgear. Like, you got a mouthpiece? Like, yeah. Like, that's all you need. So we're going to spar. So my first time I go with Ben. So Ben, taking it easy on me. Boom, boom, I punch him. He shoot on me. I defended in MMA. It's different. I can sprawl a lot harder. All right, well, there you go. Now we're going to put you with somebody else. Of course, it's Anthony Pettis. Like, he's too small. Like, well, you need to feel like to get kicked. What? Bow! Ah! What the? Like, what the? Ah! He just kept kicking my leg, and I grabbed. He's like, what do you do? Like, I'm a wrestler. I said, take him down. And I took him down. All right, you too big for Anthony. You're gonna hurt him. And he put me with a heavyweight. I said, now I want you to take everything you did. You was punching Ben, and you took him down. Took down Anthony. And do everything with this guy your size. And I fucking just hit him with a bunch of jab crosses, blast double on the punches, like just ground. Didn't even know ground, but just hit him like Donkey Kong, and then stand up and do it again. I did it again. I just kept doing it. And when it was over, he was like, all right, there you go. Your first sparring session out the way. And I hate to tell the court, I heard you kept saying you're not a fighter, but you are an MMA fighter. And I can tell you right now, I've been working with a lot of guys, you could be in the UFC in 3 fights. Like, yeah, right, whatever. I'm thinking, like, I'm dead serious. In 3 fights, so what you got and your mentality from what I've seen in wrestling, if you put it to this, you could be in the UFC in 3 fights. Whatever. But I like that. I like the training, and I kept coming back, and I never wrestled again. So what year is this? This was 2012, right after college.
That's not that long ago, man.
Oh, my first fight, I didn't debut until 2013.
Top-level MMA fighter in one of the most talent-rich divisions, in the light heavyweight division, and you only been doing it for 7 years.
I was in the UFC with 7 months fighting. After my first fight, 7 months. And I was in the top 10 within a year. That's the thing. God. So I'm learning. I didn't have an amateur career. I had 3 fights, the Ultimate Fighter, won that.
Top 10 inside a year of all MMA training.
That's it.
Jesus
and that's why people
Christ.
keep talking this shit about me. Like, they don't understand. I ain't did this like most of these guys. I look at pictures of guys I've been training with. I got guys at the gym now that's still amateurs. And they post a Throwback Thursday. My senior year in college, I have a throwback picture. It'd be me in college in 2007. It'd be them in like their 3rd or 4th MMA fight. It's like, and these guys are still amateur.
And how old are you now?
I'm 29.
Dude, you're still not even really in your prime. Your prime is like 31, 32.
Like I said, I'm learning now.
You are learning now. But it's crazy that you were in a top 10 a year into MMA training. It's because we always cite Francis Ngannou. That Francis Ngannou is one of the craziest stories ever. The guy goes from no MMA training at all to 5 years later fighting for the title, at like, but what you did is as impressive. The fact that you hit top 10 with a year of MMA training, that's bananas, man.
Even in the Tough House, I remember the guys, like, you can hear them in the kitchen. We was all talking about, oh, what's your background, this and this. I went on Tough with 4 or 5 months experience. Had my 3 fights back to back to back. And I remember my coaches pushing it, that 3rd fight. We got to get this 3rd fight. Like, why are you pushing it so hard? And then when it was over, they was like, all right, this is why we had to get that last fight. Ultimate Fighter Trials is next Tuesday in Indiana. You're going. Fuck out of here. I got to work. I ain't going nowhere. And they called me Monday night like, yo, what are you doing? Like, I'm at work. I work night shift. I don't get off till 1. And when he get off, meet me at my house like, what? Like, we're going to Indiana. Like, I'm going to get to UFC. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to go the hard way. Like, all right, I'll see you at my house. Hung up the phone. I get off. I go to the house like, bro, what the fuck you talking about? He jumped in the driver. He's like, get in. Like, what are you talking about?
So you were saying if you get in, you want to go the hard way.
Like, get earned from picking up fights.
Not doing the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, I wanted to, like, get enough fights and somebody see me like, all right, here's your... take a short notice fight or whatever.
Yeah, but that was a fantastic opportunity for exposure.
Exactly. But in my mind, I had just started 3-4 months. I'm thinking like I'm just beating up cans. I don't think I'm ready yet.
Right.
But they say like, Corey, we see you, man. Like you have the opportunity to beat these guys. Like you beating this guy. He's been training forever. He's been pro. He's been Bellator. Dustin Jacoby was my first sparring partner when I went to Illinois. He had been in UFC,
He's
Bellator.
Doing great in Glory now.
Yeah. And that was one of my first, and I was taking him down and ground and pound, but striking, I didn't have that. But all you gotta do is use your takedowns, man. You taking everybody down, you're doing good. Use that. And when I left, when I went there, whatever, my coach was like, just go do what you do. I have no doubt they're gonna pick you. But the reason they picked me wasn't the same. They picked me thinking it was gonna be an easy fight for whoever. But it's backfired on them because my work ethic, they didn't know me.
Right.
I was cracking jokes like, I can beat anybody you have in here. They was laughing. I'm thinking they laughing at my jokes. Come to find out, they tell me at the end, one guy told me, like, when we picked you, we didn't think you could win. Like, going after the semi, like, we picked you because we thought you was going to lose to Kelly and Nelson and get him an easy fight in. And now, look, it kind of backfired. And it was like, because they didn't know who I was. They didn't know me as a person. And I name dropped Matt Hughes, and I think that was the only reason why I got there. Like, I trained with Matt Hughes here and there, blah, blah. You know Matty? Oh, Matty's our guy. Oh, can you make it to Vegas next week? I was like, I can make it yesterday if you would have told me. And I go, pack your bags, you're going.
Wow.
And that was it.
But the thing is, even though you were a year in, you were so many years into wrestling. And I think to this day that wrestling's the most important skill in MMA because you get to dictate where the fight takes place. The superior wrestler gets to every fight starts standing up and you have to know how to strike, but a superior wrestler gets to dictate where the fights take place. And you see that with guys like Khabib. You see that with so many superior grapplers. When they get a hold of a guy, it's their dominance is one of the most important aspects of fighting. So you did have all that.
But I had the basic striking in the wrestling. But like I said, when I came to meet Mark Henry and Ricardo Almeida, like that's what took me into a martial artist. So that's only
like 2 years into your training.
That wasn't even 2 years. That was a year and like 3 months. And I guess that's why I didn't have it. And Mark tells people all the time, like when you hear him say it, I hear him tell people all the time, like, you guys want to see like hard work and what happened? Corey is a pure fighter of what I'm coaching because he came here with nothing. Like you get guys that come in like Lance Palmer now. Right. He's been fighting so long. He's won the PFL. You got all these guys have been fighting 10, 12 years before they meet Mark. So it's kind of like they just tuning up something. Yeah. When you got a guy like me that has nothing. The gym I was at, we literally, like I was at Rufus Sport for a little bit, but I got the college coaching job and had to leave. So I met a group of guys through Mark Fiore at the time, but he ended up leaving to go to overseas. And it was probably 6 of us, and we had a guy who owned a warehouse. Like, oh, you can put mats in here and just in the corner, you guys can just train. We didn't have jiu-jitsu practice. We never had striking practice, no Thai practice. We literally showed up, ground and pound, MMA gloves. We punch each other in the face. We learn how to get out. Sparring, no bitch ass in sparring. I mean, you got injuries, we don't want to hear it. Just beat the shit out of each other until it's over. It was horrible. Wintertime, no heat. We had a kerosene heater about this big on the corner of the mat, and we in Illinois.
Oh,
like
Jesus.
Down in mid-central Illinois, it's freezing. Oh. -20, we in there fucking dudes breaking, hit the back, freezing, break the hand. We don't have any insurance. It's us beating the shit out of each other. But we got the opportunity for one of us. It was 3 12-5ers, but I was the only one that they was going to let go to the Ultimate Fighter. I had the least amount of fights, but you're the only one that can actually work and make us look good on there.
So you get on the Ultimate Fighter, you meet Mark Henry, you wind up winning, and then you go from there, you go and move to New Jersey? Is that what you did?
I went home. I had met Ali on the show. You know, I mean, Ali was there every day. He even said, like, bro, your wrestling is good. I like how you're good at wrestling. Henzo came on. He said, like, your wrestling is key. That's when everybody let me know. Mark, first thing he said, you're wrestling. They made it known, like, wrestling is going to run this. And even Ali said right then, he was like, I'll work with you. And you don't even have to sign me as a manager, but I'll help you. Like, I help lead you in the right way, what you need, because I didn't have anybody to direct me. I knew nothing. Ben Askren was the only thing I had, but he was in Wisconsin. You know, I'm out here on my own. And Ali, I remember saying, like, if you want to win this show and to be the best you can, brother, you need to go to Jersey. And Mark and him had already texted me, like, you're more than welcome to come out and train whenever you want. By the time I had a girl who had a kid and my family, and the coaching was my dream job, still my dream job. And I loved that. You know, I didn't want to leave that for anything.
What were you coaching? You were
college
coaching wrestling?
At the junior college level. And I remember I only made $220 a week, but I worked other jobs to make my dream a reality. That's what I wanted to do and fight. And I was like, if you want to be the best, you want to win this show, the best opportunity you got, man, you need to go to Jersey. Like, I know you got guys there, but even my guys told me after the show, you need to leave because we can't do anything for you. But I didn't want to. I was so grounded today. I didn't want to leave that. That's what I knew. And when Ali said, bro, you got to go. Like, I can never live in Jersey. It's too fast-paced. I'm a country boy. I like outdoors and this hunting and stuff like that. Like, you need to get to Jersey, brother, if you want to be the best. If you don't want to be the best, stay where you are. I remember telling my mom, like, I said I need to go to Jersey. My mom said when I was in high school, my senior year, she said, if you get the opportunity ever to leave, I want you to go far away.
Did you think about going anywhere else, like going to Rufus Sport permanently? Or anything?
That was a thought. Yeah. That was a thought, but they didn't have the rest of Ben, but that was about it. You know, I'm a wrestling base, and I fell in love with the way Frankie and them train. I love that. But I was looking for something like that. Mark Fiore had that, but when he left, had nowhere else to go. And I was thinking, and my mom said, if that's what the best is, you need to go be the best. You know, my brother was like, yo, let's go.
Mark Henry's such a unique guy that when people start training with him and realizing like what he is and then comparing him to other people, like it makes them think like, wow, like this guy's got something very unique. Like his all what you're talking about, his systems and all the stuff that he writes and the notes, and like Brendan Schaub was telling me that he trained with him for one fight, and he said when he went down there, he said like it was like an eye-opening experience. Like he didn't know that a coach could be that good.
Yeah. And you know the crazy part? The reason why Mark isn't known the most, because you got like Freddie Roach, you got Duke Rufus, all these big name guys. What's the guy at Hard Knocks 365 with Kimura Usman? what's his coach's name?
Henry Hooft.
Henry Hooft, there you go.
Yeah.
All these guys, but that's all they do throughout the day. So you see them because they work with so many fighters.
Right.
And it's like, that's all they do is coach MMA. You know Mark is a pizza man. When I first got there and they said that, I didn't know he had owned the pizzeria. He used to say, after sparring, like, all right, guys, time to go make the dough. Thought he meant like just go to his job, make money.
Right.
And he was, I owe the pizzeria. And that's his passion. Like when practice is over, we just start at 9:30. I need to be at my shop by 11, and I got to work with this guy at 4:30 or 5. So he just mitts twice a day. You got 7 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But through the day, he's at the pizzeria. That's his baby. His father-in-law gave that to him. He's passionate about it. He loves it. That his whole family's in it. You go there and you see the family bond. He treats all his employees like family. That's his dream. You got to respect that because he doesn't miss work because of this. Even with my fights, whatever, he'd come out Thursday. Like, I got to be at the pizzeria all week, but I'll be there Thursday night or Friday morning. Sometimes they show up Saturday fight day. I got a catering job. I can't make it, bro, but I'm going to video chat you and tell you what we need to work on. Videotape this workout with such and such, and I'll tell you what we need to tighten up, and I'll be there Saturday morning or Friday night, and we'll work as much as we can before the fight.
It's like a character in a movie.
Exactly, and the fact that he's that passionate about that and the MMA, and I remember driving with him to one of our amateur guys' fights. And he's driving, watching the film. Like, Coach, you watching the road or you watching film? Like, I got to watch this girl's fight because we had Caitlin Chukagian, one of her first pro fights.
He's watching fights while he's driving?
Watching fights while driving. He gave me a piece of paper and a pen. And he was like, take this down. Like, what? He was like, I need you to write this down for me. This is what I need. So he's driving, watching film, and he started calling out stuff. And I'm writing it down. He's like, all right, that's the stuff I need to remember for a fight. But he doesn't have the time most guys have to sit and do that through the day. He picked me up from the pizzeria, changed, and we hit the road. So he's like breaking film. And you see somebody so passionate that can do the things he does. And he got so many fighters. Like you said, with the codes, we got the Russians, we got the Brazilians, and you got us. And everybody, the Russians, their stuff is in Russian. That means this guy's taking time to learn Russian. You go in the basement, he has like translation codes.
What?
Yes, that he understands Russian now. So they write down what this.
He learned Russian?
He learns Russian just to help these guys with stuff.
Jesus
You hear
Christ.
him hear me sparring. He's like, how that show? What the hell? What's that? He's like, oh, that means very good. Like, what the heck?
Wow.
The Brazilians.
How's he learning that? Was he using like Rosetta Stone or something?
I think he just like I said, they write it down what this means, like basic stuff, and they write down how you say it in Russian.
Oh, wow.
But that's how Mark is he's a mad scientist.
Yeah.
And he got so many things going on. He can't remember the direction he's going in. Like, he'll be driving, he's like, oh, which way am I going? Like, what? But when it comes to codes, he knows all 10 to 12 fighters, and everybody has a different language and different names. It's named after our family or your dog or something that happened when you was a kid. Everything, it revolves around something that happened. And every fighter has different codes, and he knows everybody's. We line up for rounds at Nicatones in the cage. He's in the cage with Frankie. All right, Marlon come in. Now it's all Portuguese. Then Caitlin come in. Then it's all stuff related to her. Then I come in.
He knows how to speak Portuguese?
Yes. He has everything.
Codes in Portuguese.
Everything. Mark is a wizard. Like I said, when I say he's a mad scientist, you don't know any other coaches that take the time to learn the stuff that he does to make his fighters the best. He ain't worried about, like, he wants to win and all that, but he want to make sure we are in sync. We in the cage, we talking. It's a foreign language. Like, that's why the Glover fight, you hear Dan Hardy, one of them say, like, there's no point in tuning Corey's corner because we don't know what they're saying. Everything, and like 3 fights later, I won't even know what he said because we didn't been through so many codes. I got to go back and think, like, what was that again?
Do you ever get to a point where he's yelling something out and you don't know what the code is?
No.
No.
Because it's muscle memory. Because when we hit pass, it's never a 1-2, a cross.
Like, what would he say?
Kick.
If it's not 1-2, like, what would it be?
If it's something in Portuguese,
like for you,
one would be like, I'm trying to think of.
Like, give me an old one.
That's what I'm trying to think. Sink. That's, I can't remember what language it was, but I think that was a hook or whatever.
Like a sink?
Not a sink, but that was how you say it in their language.
But what about for you? Like,
that
when
was
he had weird,
like, he would
so he would give you like codes in different languages?
If I didn't went through everything in English, now we got to switch it up. We're working on Russian now. That was the last time I was working the Russian stuff, so it's kind of like.
He was giving you Russian codes?
I was like, I'm learning too. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Fedi Hadacho, I know that means very good now. It's certain things he say to them and you figure it out.
That's so crazy. So what is his logic behind that? He doesn't want anybody learning the codes?
Just keep you on your toes.
Keep you on your toes.
You're never getting comfortable with one thing because you get into a habit when one habit forces habit, you kind of get comfortable. Like, I know it's with the eyes closed. Right. If you always got to learn something new, it keeps you hungry. Like he used to make me come over. I used to do mitts on Friday night, and then we would go to the movies. But we do mitts from 4 to 5:30 when I first was learning. And he'll make me sit at the table. He shower, I shower, whatever. He go shower. I had to study my codes. And when he come down, he'd be watching TV, whatever. He'd be in the kitchen, and he'd take the paper from me. And he'd say something out, and I had to tell him what it meant, like 1-2, 1-2 left kick, whatever. So he would say whatever the code was, and I had to know it. And if I messed it up, he'd bring a notepad back, like, keep studying.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like he'd take you in like that. He took me in like his son. I'm 12 hours from home. He could have dogged me out. I could have just been there.
What is this, Jamie?
This is a corner transcript from Eddie's fight.
Okay, look at this. It says, 73 on the knee, 73 on the knee, 73 on the knee. You're too much in the front. You're too much, yeah.
He switches it up down here. Chain.
Stiff. Chain. Hands up, chin down. Well, it could be chain takedowns together.
It could be anything.
Could be anything. Yeah. No,
because chain, chin down. That ain't take that. He told him something for standing. That's a standing code. Like, you never
73. Know. What the fuck is 73? Keep saying 73. What does that mean?
I couldn't.
73.
That could be anything for Eddie, because Eddie don't. Yeah. Let's see, some people.
226. 226, 73.
Like I said.
How weird.
He's
got numbers for him.
I mean, we all got numbers.
Yeah.
We all have numbers. But if you're doing a code, when it's a combo, he makes it a code. If it's a single thing, he'll say, but it's not your normal 1-2. Or it might be sync, or if it's, what's another he see? He gave me Croatian once.
Croatian?
Yeah. And that took me forever. Like, I don't know this shit. It was just like Russian. It's taken now. But it's like you don't know it unless you learn it.
Let me ask you this. So say if you have a fight scheduled now. So the UFC calls you up and they say, hey, Corey, we got another one for you. It's in 8 weeks with this guy. So that's when you'll start learning the newest codes?
No, we work codes right away. Off the last fight, he said we sit down and we watch the fight and we hear what we call. And we see how we reacted to it.
After that fight, then you go to a new code.
We work the new stuff.
Like right away. As soon as you start training again, new code.
Already changed it up. So when it's time to get in the camp, that's the thing. It's like people that don't stay in the gym after a fight. When they first get in camp, they spend the first half of camp getting in shape.
Right.
Same thing. So if we don't have the codes, then we have to spend the first 4 or 5 weeks just trying to understand each other. I'm not really hitting pass.
Right.
I'm messing up. He'll say something, I throw a cross when he meant a hook. Or I throw a kick. He'll, what are you doing? That was a jab. Like, I don't know. Like, so we spend that first time just shadow boxing, figuring it out for a few weeks. We watching film together, and we go back. Like, you see how you did it when you did this one, when it was this language? That's what this is in that language. So it's just like study hall in college. You figuring it out.
And he has codes for footwork as well?
Everything. You would never hear him say shot. You would never hear him say jab. You would never hear him say head movement. And so it's all in different languages.
And where did he learn all this from? Is this his own system that he came up with?
I never asked. That's why I don't ask questions. I just do it.
That's smart. If you talk to Brendan Schaub was blown away by it. He's like, I never seen anything like it. Rashad Evans said the same thing.
I was going to say, Rashad came down when he fought Sam Alvey. I remember that camp. And we linked up and trained after that. He's like, bro. He said, I don't even know if I even did anything. I won the world championship. But Mark make it feel like I'm a rookie. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He was saying codes, and I was like doing everything wrong. And in my mind, it's kind of like you start doubting yourself.
Yeah.
Because you can't get it right. But by the end of it, you do it so much. Like it says, tandem dance.
Well, there's something about guys who take things to a totally new level. And that's what he seems to do, with his coaching.
He loves it.
You could tell the way he treats fighters, the way he corners fighters, and man, you guys got a fucking incredible camp right now. I mean,
everybody say we got a team, we got a family. 4th of July, where everyone's going to be on 4th of July. Mark's house. Everybody's invited. If you've been there and trained with us, you get an invite. Hey, bro, if you were there that weekend, the week before, next week, 4th of July, we're doing a big party at my house. Come on, bro. I got to go back to such and such. Or if you can make it back, bro, open invite. You're more than welcome. Come hang out. We'd love to have you there. I remember when I was in Wisconsin, like, we hung out with Anthony Pettis and Duke Rubis and all those UFC guys there in the gym, but I don't never remember seeing them outside. Like, we stayed in the fight house, but I never seen them outside the gym. It's not that way in our house. Like, I was talking to Frankie last weekend. We was all eating or something. Oh, no, it was finished training, stretching. He said something about a party. I'm like, I still ain't never been invited to a New Year's party. Like, bro, it's always an open invite. Everybody's invited to my house. You just never came. I'm like, oh, he's like, you know where I live. Your wife over my house all the time. You just never came. It's always an open invite. Like, we know where each other live. I have my wedding, invite everybody over. Everybody show up.
So how did he get in touch with the Russians? Like, how does Zabit get over there?
I think with Ali.
Ah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, most of our guys come from Ali. I think everybody on our team is managed by Ali now, except for Blonde Fighter. But like I said,
except for who?
Caitlin Chukagan, Blonde Fighter.
You call her Blonde Fighter.
That's her name.
That's her nickname.
Blonde Fighter or KC, Killer KC. I call her because she's ruthless.
She is ruthless.
You see a little pretty good, and I've seen her like knock guys out multiple times in the gym.
Really?
Multiple times.
Yeah. So. I'm very interested in Marlon Moraes versus Henry Cejudo.
The birthday boy. Happy birthday, Marlon.
It's today's birthday?
Today's birthday.
Happy birthday, Marlon.
Even though it's on speed tonight.
He was one of those guys when he was fighting for World Series of Fighting. I was very interested in him coming over to the UFC. I was like, this guy's got legit skills. Like, he's something special. And he was smashing people. But he wasn't crushing cans. He was beating real good guys. And the way he was moving and the things he was doing, I was like, this guy is world class.
Yeah, I took Marlon on the show. He was one that helped me understand the way the pro with the manager and the payments, and I had none of this. I knew nothing. Like I said, I was in the gym. He taught me how stuff worked. We sit in the sauna, and he was telling me about Ali. He's like, "Oh, bro, Ali's a good guy." Because I didn't know this guy. And he was like, "Oh, I'll help you out, this and this." And I asked him, like, "What do you think about Ali?" He's like, "Oh, he's my man. He's great, brother. This is this. You know, the way it works is you get your purse and you break a certain percentage off to these people. And you take the percentage, and then we got this camp. He was breaking me down how their camp worked before I was coming out there. So I had an understanding. Like how they get paid, like they gonna offer you this if you get to UFC. You first start off 10-10, or this organization is this and this. And he was telling me like you just can't let people take advantage of you. Things I didn't know,
right?
You know, because Marlon was just a super friendly. He's a nice guy, family guy. Like now, if I went home right now, I'm sure him and his wife might be over there with my wife and the baby, just hanging out with the puppy. They just we're just a tight knit family like that. He comes awesome. Like, bro, what's going on with you in the fight? Like, I heard this, I heard that, I saw this, I saw that. Don't let people get to you, this and this. Don't let them talk you into doing this. Don't let somebody get to you where you react like this. Keep your head, brother. Like, you're good. You're going to be the champ. But I see you train. I know what you do. I know what you're capable of. You're good. You're translating so well from where you were to where you are now. So, like I said, that he's one of him and Frankie Edgar are my two mentors in the fight game. You know,
couldn't get two better mentors.
If I need a question from any guy, I'll message them. And then you got Eddie Alvarez as well. I don't see Eddie as much. I see them. Eddie comes up like 3-4 times a week, but I see Frankie and Marlon every day.
How does Eddie like being over at 1FC?
I mean, I think they treat. I never asked him about it. You know, I'm not the type to ask questions. I don't like being in other people's business, so I don't ask. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? He told me when he came back from his first trip. I was like, bro, it's crazy. They treat me like king. Like, what do you mean? He was like, me and Jamie flew out there. I was like, yeah, that plane y'all was on look nice. Like, yeah, bro, $32,000 or something for a ticket. And I was like, what? Damn, that's crazy. Like, that's each. It was like
$32,000.
Something like that. It was like some Asian airline first class. And he was like, and they gave us like steaks and all. It was amazing, bro. It was great. Like, it was good. And that's all I ever heard.
All I hear is good things.
Yeah.
All I hear is good things about the way they treat the fighters, the mentality that Chatri has, and the way he runs the organization. Very, very impressed.
Yeah. Like I said, it's up and coming. I'm glad it's doing well. When it first started, I used to say, oh, it's not going to be around. They're not going to have backers. They throwing too much money right in the get-go in the way. But now here we are. What is it?
Success.
5-6 years later when they started?
Huge success. It's as big as the UFC or bigger worldwide.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gigantic over
and people
in Asia.
making money on that. Like, I know he was telling one of our teammates that was in the PFL tournament at 85. But they're not doing 85 this year. He's like, what am I supposed to do now? And I heard Eddie say, I mean, I can have my guy talk to you. We can try to get you into one. And I heard him saying, like, bro, he told me I can make some good money over there. I'm trying to do that. But hey, got to worry about you and your family, bro. Do what's best for you and yours. So.
Well, I mean, worldwide, I think they're on a collision course with the UFC in terms of like notoriety and popularity. I mean, in Asia, it's already bigger. You know, it's something special. Yeah. And you know, you see with the guy that Natsukin guy that Eddie fought, they have world class fighters over there. And that's a world. I mean, you knock out Eddie Alvarez, you're a world class fighter.
Yeah, and in the first round.
Yeah, very impressive. And even the guy that Mighty Mouse fought, he gave him trouble. The guy's good. You know, they got good fighters over there, real world-class fighters. There's so many good fighters now, you know. And then also they have, you know, Yadson Klei's fighting over there, Nikki Holdskin. They got world-class kickboxers and Muay Thai fighters fighting in. And then they're even doing grappling matches. Yeah. I mean, I love what they're doing.
It's cool how they mix it all together. Like Bellator did the kickboxing MMA, but now, and they had 2 different rings for it, but one do it all in one night. It's like MMA, and now it's a kickboxing. Now I got grappling. It's going back. It's cool. It keep you on your toes. The only thing I don't like is always early as fucking in the morning.
Right.
Like 2, 3 o'clock, I got to set an alarm to get up to see it. I'm half asleep.
Well, you got to take the good with the bad. When they're in Singapore or wherever they are in different countries, where they hold their events, I just think it's so important for fighters to have options, to have so many different places, to have Bellator. And, now that like Rory McDonald went over to Bellator and Gegard Mousasi and, world-class guys in their Ryan Bader is a heavyweight's a beast. Crazy. You see him knock out Fedor in the first round. You're like, what the fuck? Amazing.
He's doing his thing. Happy for him.
Phil Davis. I'm just happy to see that fighters have options.
Yeah, not just the one UFC.
Yes, it's good for the UFC. It's good for everybody.
In my mind, people say that. Say, did you ever think about going Bellator 1? In my mind, it's great fighters everywhere. But right now, I still think the number one and all of it is in the UFC.
Yes.
The number one martial art is in the UFC. And right now, that's my goal.
Yeah.
The money, that's all great, but I'm here to be the best. I can go to one and make a killing. I can go to Bellator and get my sponsors back. But I'm in no rush to leave here because I want to be the best.
Yeah.
Like after I prove that, if there's nothing else, and then it's like, okay, now I'm ready for the money. Then that's maybe an option, but
there's no contest. In terms of prestige, there's no contest. No. If you get the UFC title, you're the best.
That's it. There's no question like, what about the Bellator? This and this because the Bellator champ especially lost to John Jones already. And
especially
and all that.
In your division. In your division, you have one of the best guys of all time, if not the best guy of all time as a champion. So when you see a guy like John at the top of the heap, is that motivating to you to just ramp up it even harder because you realize that the guy who's a champion in your division is not just the best light heavyweight of all time, maybe the best martial artist of all time?
It ramps up so much. Like when I'm riding the bike in my basement, I got the air down bike and a stationary bike, and I got the projector. And when I'm down there, only thing on is Fight Pass. I'm watching Fight Pass. I'm usually watching John Jones. To see him dominate other guys, and you just hear that bike. You can hear the pedals start picking up. He get into like a brawl or something crazy, and like I don't even be looking down the clock, but I can just hear the fan picking up, and I don't even realize it till like it goes to break, and I slow it down, and my heart rate's like, and I'm just watching, just like that's. Yeah. Like if I want to get there, I gotta beat him to be the best.
Right.
So I need to work hard.
What's your take on him?
You can't take away what he does in the sport. What is his outside, his personal life? That's all he say, she say. I had my words after the California stuff. We went to 226 or whatever the fight it was in Vegas and got moved here because of his lifestyle, the drug test, and all the extra stuff. However you want to code it up, it's past. I'm done with it. But I had my words there. The fact he kept using God and Jesus and this, and I'm a God-fearing guy who read my Bible every morning. And I don't like the fact that he would do that. I'm like I said, I'm not on it now, but at the time, my words was the fact that he did that. And then at the same time, when I'm interviewing, so I want to thank God. And that kind of rubbed me wrong. And then we flew on the plane together. And like I said, I saw the way he was acting. When he came on the plane, like, we're not doing this because of him. Like, all that at the time bothered me. And that was a pent-up energy. And that was something else going into that fight. That was something on my shoulders because I had posted something. Because when UFC called me right before I got on the flight, they was like, don't come. I'm on my way to Vegas now. I got my wife. She's 8 months pregnant. Like, she's 30 weeks, whatever. She can't travel after this. She's struggling. We hauling bags. And y'all call me now and say, don't come. This and this. Go back home. We're going to fly you out again. Like, I'm not doing this again. And then when they get there, like, we can get you here, but we get you to Cali, but we can't take your wife. Like, what? Like, we pay your ticket and the coach's ticket. Like, no, fuck that. All because John Jones, that's what got me mad.
So they were trying to save money by not flying people?
Because we was literally walking down the runway to the plane when they called me.
Jesus Christ.
And turn around. But then when we got there, like, okay, you come here, but we can get you to Cali, but we couldn't get your wife to Cali. Like, my wife is 30 weeks pregnant. She's here with me. She's coming. Like, well, we don't know what to do because you bought her ticket. Isn't it? Like, what do you mean you don't know what to do? Get her another ticket. Like, I pay for my family. What about the people that's on the way right now? Like, they got to find their own way. And that made me wrong. Fight week.
The week of the fight. The things that you have to think about. To be fucking with that.
That's the last thing I need to worry about.
God damn.
And then I get there, and they tell me, make sure you got your workout. If you don't have your workout scheduled to PI set already, as soon as you get there, go do it. I did mine like a month and a half ahead of time. I'm like I said, I'm punctual. Like, I like having stuff done.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to go to the PI. I'm packing my bags, and I get a call. Oh, you can't come to the PI. Why? John just came in and said he want to work out, so we closing the gym down. You're not allowed. Y'all called me 2 months ago and told me to set my schedule to come ahead of time. I'm literally getting ready to walk to my Uber that's outside, and you say I can't come now? Like, sorry, nothing we can do is John.
Why can't you work out at the same place where John's working out? You're not fighting.
It's the same thing when Connor's there. When I'm there in the summer and Connor show up, they come and tell everybody, you got to leave. Like, what? Connor just rolled up. Yeah.
Really?
You walk out and Connor just have his car parked up on the sidewalk.
Come on.
Yeah, they have security guards block the stairs off and everything.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm telling you. Yes.
Ew.
Exactly.
That's
you walk
gross.
out and like you heard somebody say.
That's a big place.
Yeah. But you can go to the cardio room and the weights, but you can't use the upstairs where the cage and the bag and stuff is.
You can't use if he's in the cage,
they have security
you can't
blocking
use the
stairs, so you can't go up there.
What the fuck is that about?
That's the people. I don't know.
It's not my people. I'm an independent contractor, sir.
But yeah, like that stuff, it kind of rubbed me wrong. And that's when it was kind of like, if I was a champ, I wouldn't want that.
No.
You know what I mean? I want people to be able to see what I'm doing.
Maybe
they
it's
can watch
security.
me and see. I don't know.
I mean, you got to think about how much death threats that guy must get, how much shit he must take. And he's as popular as he is, as famous as he is. Maybe he just has overzealous security, and they just want to tighten it down so they don't want anybody up there.
Yeah, that was the first time I've ever cursed at a UFC employee.
Yeah,
like my wife came on the show, I was cursed, like going off. Like, y'all want me to change my whole workout schedule, fight week. I'm cutting weight too, Like, it's not just John.
Yeah.
Like, we in the same division. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't care what he's doing. I need to go up there and get a workout. My coaches meet me there from the airport, but we can't do nothing about it, Corey. And the guy kept hanging up because I was going off.
That is ridiculous.
And they were calling me back, and I was like, yo. And then people would hit me up like, I'm glad you're actually voicing yourself. I'm hearing around the PR right now, everybody talking about how you're mad. And somebody texts me like, I'm glad you're actually speaking out because everybody else is kind of like, okay. Like, no. Like, okay. And if it wasn't for my wife being there, I probably wouldn't took the same. But I see the way she's struggling to carry this belly around, and she's hurting.
Yeah, of course. 8 months.
Yeah, it's
she could give birth at any moment.
Anytime. Yeah. So the stress, I'm sure it's like all that. My baby's
even
health.
worse.
So
sure.
I'm really.
Yeah.
It was ramping me up, and my wife came like, Corey, just stop, calm down, it'll be okay. This and this. Like, it ain't the fact of being okay. It's the fact that they letting one person dictate it all.
Yeah.
Like, we're all equal. Right now, they're treating us like a number. He's John Jones, but we're number 4,722.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't like that.
No.
He's John. I'm Corey. Like I was telling Will on the way here, the reason I love Rose Namajunas is because I've never seen none of that from her. She's a champ, but you would see her and she'd act just like Rose when she was an Invictus. She doesn't change. I don't want no special treatment from her or from anybody if I was a champ. Treat me the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people are different. Like I said, I don't know if it's John or his camp that was doing that or UFC's doing or security or what. But it rubbed me wrong that we aren't equal anymore.
No, that's understandable, but that's also got to give you some motivation, right?
Exactly. Like I told him in the Ariel Rwanda, I was sitting on the plane, and I was literally directly behind John Jones, and I see his head bob, and I was just looking. I looked at my wife, and she's like struggling, like falling asleep, but struggling to fall asleep. And I looked at the top of his head, the back of his head, and I was just like, it's time for a change of the torch. Like my brother always said, like, you're good, and you know you can beat everybody, but I feel like when it comes to those top guys like John Jones and Gus, you doubt yourself just a little bit. You ain't sure that you can get them yet. You know you're good, but you feel like this is before they leave fight. You get there and you feel like you don't think you're ready for that. But I'm telling you, I watched you, bro. I know what you made of. You can do it. And when I sat there and I saw him bobbing and all the frustration going through my mind, 6 o'clock in the morning, we had to get up and catch a plane because this guy, this and this. They say show up on time. He still was late to that. And it was just like, if I'm the champ, I don't want this. You know what I mean? I don't want no special treatment. If you tell me, sign up ahead of time and keep your schedule, I expect that. If we get down the scale, first come, first serve. First come, first serve. If I show up late, put me in the order I am. Don't put me up front because I'm the champ. Because I was the first or second person there. I'm on my way to the scale, and John was walking down the stairs fully dressed. We went back to the commission room, and I remember people in the blue shirt came and said, hold up. And all of a sudden, John come in. He could do all his paperwork. He went on the scale, and he was out. He was the last person down. How's it he's first? Like, it wasn't that big of a deal, but the fact, like, I don't like that.
Well, it's because he's headlining the card, right?
Yeah.
So they're giving him special treatment.
Everything. That's what they kept saying. It's John Jones. Every time I got the phone, well, it's John Jones. And they hang up. I was like, I don't like that. He's still a person.
Well,
he's the greatest there is, but he's still a person.
To be Corey Anderson.
100%.
It's Corey Anderson.
And change the tide.
Like, it's Corey Anderson.
It's Corey Anderson, but treat me normal. Don't give me no special treatment.
Beautiful that you have that attitude. When you look at John, you look at John's skills. Like, what do you think you need to do, if anything, different in your life or in your training, or where do you need to get to where you think you could beat him?
Just keep getting better.
Like the Aliir Latifi fight must have been a big boost for me.
100%. Every fight last year, even the ones I lost, has all been a boost. Because you go back and see, tell me a fight that I've been getting beat up, Joe.
Right.
I've never been in a fight where somebody, oh, Corey, you're too small, you're not good. There's never been one fight in my career where somebody straight manhandled me and pushed me around. You know what I mean? They talk about this, and this. He's the greatest this, he's the greatest that. I was watching a UFC main event last night in the hotel. They had the Glover Rashad fight, and they're talking this and this and this and up. And Glover's this, Glover that, Glover this, Glover's that. And I think, I beat that guy. You know, and you're here talking about, hope they don't give a little T or Johnny Walker a little T. He's super good, this and this. But at the same time, I was thinking, and you said it, but what about Corey? And I was like, there we go. Finally, somebody, like all these guys that they talk about how good these guys are, not and beat them all. Yeah. Like, I'm that guy coming underneath the radar, and they don't expect me to do nothing because I lost to Gian Vellante, my third or fourth fight in the UFC, 2 years of my career. You know what I mean? Jimmy Manuwa, I told Will on the way here too, Jimmy Manuwa was the only fight I would say the guy beat me. He didn't manhandle me, but in my head from his highlights, and it's all, like you said, on Instagram, reading comments, and I let what people were saying and reading and seeing get in my head to think, if this guy touches me, he's going to put me out. And when you go into a fight thinking that, I literally got touched, and my mind was already set. Like, if I get hit, I'm going out. And, like, I think subconsciously, like, I had myself so doubted that when he hit me, my mind just, like, in panic, kind of shut down. Because I remember when I hit the mat, like, I wasn't out to I don't remember. I was out, but I remember seeing his feet walk away. And I remember when I came to clearly. And I thought to myself, like, it happened. Exactly what I put in my mind. If I got hit, it happened. And after that was it. It was like, I can take to anybody. And I think OSP was more dangerous than Jimmy because he can kick, he was explosive, and this and that, and punch. And I did everything right and just slipped into the punch the wrong way. But I was manhandling them for 3 rounds. You know what I mean? It's simple mistakes because I didn't have the discipline yet. In 3 years of my career, I hadn't learned the discipline and focus that it's a 15-minute fight.
Right.
I can win 12 minutes of it all, but one mistake and it's all gone.
Well, the experience of making those mistakes and realizing what they are, and then when those moments come up again and you deviate from the game plan and you do go to your right and you do move the wrong direction, you know, you'll catch yourself. You'll realize it's the experience of competition for a fighter is, there's nothing that substitutes it. You can have great talent, you can have a great mindset, but the experience of competition is like nothing else. And one thing that I've seen from you is that every time you have had losses, you've gone back to work and come back better. Like, you made significant jumps in between each fight. That's why, like, when we were talking about fighters, and I said, well, what about Corey Anderson? Because people do leave you out of the discussion, but they don't leave you out of discussion because you're not good. They, for whatever reason, leave you out of discussion because you're a polite, soft-spoken guy and you haven't been knocking people out. Like, that's the knock on you, if there is a knock. But you're winning. Winning is with fighting. The key is winning. It's not knocking people out or submitting people. The key is winning. Can you win? Can you beat world-class guys? You've shown you can beat world-class guys, and the fact that you've done this with just 7 years total training is pretty fucking incredible. Pretty amazing, man. Yeah,
I'm glad you voiced that on the air because I can say it all day and nobody is saying it.
Don't say it. Don't. You shouldn't even say it at all. Let me say it for you.
Exactly. I got to get off of social media and realize that.
Get the fuck off social media. Post and run. Just post and run. Because it's, like we were saying before, it's just not a healthy way to consume things. It's not, there's random, because there's too many people out there that are bored, or maybe they're not healthy mentally, and they would like to fuck with your head. And they see a guy like you, especially a guy who's an elite athlete fighting in the UFC. There's so much jealousy and pettiness, and sports fans are weird like that. They'll call some guy who's making $20 million a year a fucking loser. Like, it's crazy.
But you sitting at home on food stamps watching me.
It's crazy. But their words, although they mean nothing, if you see them in print and it's about you, it can get you to go, hey, and that might fuck with you while you're running. Fuck that guy. You know, and there might be 30 of those guys. And if you go down a spiral, if you have a weak mind and you don't understand how to compartmentalize and how to look at things objectively, if you don't see what that is and you start, if I saw him, I'd say this, so come say that shit to my face, and you start getting involved in that stuff, that's just a giant waste of resources, a giant waste of energy. It doesn't do you any good at all, especially when Look at what you're surrounded with, man. You're telling me it's all family, elite fighters, some of the best guys in the world. You have one of the best coaches on the planet Earth. Ricardo Almeida, one of the best jiu-jitsu coaches on the planet Earth. You're with some elite world-class fighters. You're all tight together. That should be all of your mental diet, all of your communication, camaraderie, all your interaction with people. It should be that, because you got top of the food chain. Like, why fuck with all these scavengers online and cannibals and fucking zombies? And that's what you're dealing with when you get into those comment sections. You don't know who these people are. You know, I mean, it could be anybody.
True story.
Just for a fighter, the mentality, and this is another thing that I wanted to ask you about. Your mentality is so fucking important. Do you use a mental coach? And have you ever been hypnotized? Have you ever worked with a mental coach at all?
Only thing I did different this year was the brain tap.
A brain tap?
My physical therapist thing is you put the sound on. It's like kind of like hypnosis, and they got like flashing lights. You can go take a nap, whatever. And it's kind of like listening, like they say, you listen to Rosetta Stone or something before you go to bed, and when you wake up, it's in your mind because you heard it. It's the same thing. So I take a nap and I put it. It's always positive thoughts. It's like take a deep breath, this and this, and it slowly. It's just you hear this talking, he's speaking, and it slowly stops. But you see the light still going off, but it's there. If you push it in focus, you can hear him like very lightly talking in the background. And I'll take like a nap, like 30 minutes.
So what are
wake up.
What are the lights? How does it work?
I think it's like
Jamie's got it here. Jamie's got it. He's gonna pull one up.
Yeah, I think it's like pulling a
brain tap headset.
Yeah, there you go. And I think the lights and stuff would just keep your focus till your body isn't completely asleep or something.
Let me see this. It says uses unique frequencies of light and sound for brainwave entrainment. In just 22 minutes of deep relaxation, your brain will be guided to relax. Proven scientific techniques allow your brain to rest allows your brain the rest and recovery that it needs by reaching various states of consciousness. Reboot, clean the slate of the unimportant and reinforce the most valuable information for better memory and brain power. And revitalize. Our sessions are designed to build a resilient mind and fit body for life. Huh.
And with that, and float tank, that was another thing I added, like relaxing. Because one thing I had a problem with, you always going to have dreams. You know, if I have a bad sparring or whatever, I'm thinking negative. So when I go to bed, I have a negative dream. I have a dream I got taken down 10 times. Or if I had a dream, I got hit hard in practice. I had a dream I got hit hard and I got put out. I used to feel like in going into fights, if I had one of them dreams, like I remember this before the Gian Vellante fight. It was after I fought Justin Jones. I went home. I remember the first night I went to sleep, I woke up and had a dream. I fought Gian Vellante next, and I lost split decision. And in my mind, I remember going to that fight, and that stayed vivid in my head that I lose this guy split decision. Somehow my dream knew I was fighting Gian Vellante next, and I lost split decision. And I think that's why in the third round, even though everybody was saying, like you were saying, the leg kicks and everything, and when it came out, they showed the scorecards. It was like, I guess I was winning on the scorecards, but in my mind, I thought I was getting defeated. And I had to go harder, and I was getting beat up because in my dream, it set vivid in my mind. So I got greedy, and coaches just kept saying, like, just move, get out of there, move. And I was just doing the most, trying to hit him as much as I could. And you kept saying it, and I watched the video. You said the best offense is the best defense. If Corey can't get hit, Gian can't throw anything back. So that was my mind. If I get it this round 10-8, there's no way I lose. So I need to hit him as much as I can, as many times as I can. Maybe I'll put him out. And I got overzealous and got caught. And then when the scorecards came out and said I was winning, there was no reason for me to do all that.
Right.
But in my mind, going into that fight, I remember all fight with that dream kept popping up. Never had another dream losing again. But that was from December of the year before. And it was stuck in my head. Like, for some reason, I couldn't let go of it. And then, I can't remember whatever. I had another one that it didn't show the finish of the fight, but I woke up with the record 8-2. At the time, I was 8-1 or 7-1. Oh, no, 8-1. And this was before going into the Tom Lawler fight. And that was another one, like, fuck, do I lose this? And I remember in Vegas, he rocked me in the beginning, and I thought for sure they was giving him a scorecard. I'm like, here we go. Here come that dream again. When they said Corey Anderson, I remember going to my hotel room, and somebody put a sign on it and said 9-1 now. Congratulations. And that's when it stuck in my head like, oh, that dream means nothing. And that's when the dreams is just dreams.
Yeah.
I got to get them.
So the float tank helps you?
Float tank helps when I get in there and relax, like the negative thoughts. I always do it the last week, Sunday. I do massage. I go to church, massage, float tank. And there's nothing on my mind but the Bible and the gospel I heard that morning. And I go to the massage and I fall asleep. And when I go into that float tank, I think about what I need to do. And the mind zonks out, and all I'm thinking about is that fight with victory. Winning, getting my hand raised, whichever way, dominate. When I wake up, That whole week, I don't have any negative thoughts because that's what I visualized. That last 3 times of work at home was all positive thinking. And with the brain tap, like my doc used to let me take it to the fight with me. So I'm resting between training, put it on. He gave me his little travel iPhone, whatever, put it on.
How does it make you feel, the brain tap?
The brain tap, you just wake up, like I said, relax. Like I'll be tired, get done with practice, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. But that little 15 to 20 minute nap, whichever one I use, when my brain come back to it's like I feel like I just left for hours.
I don't understand why it does so much for you.
I've been the type, I never believe any of that stuff. Like hypnosis, I never believed it. But after he let me try, like just try it once. And I tried it and I actually like let my body relax. I noticed the next day in training, like, dang. Like this jiu-jitsu, like I always struggled at jiu-jitsu. I hated jiu-jitsu. But when I went there, I finally realized things I was doing. I was relaxed, paying attention to what Ricardo was saying, watching the small details. And he was like, bro, you look good today. And I was thinking, like, I think maybe that brain tap actually kind of helped. And I kept doing it.
So it puts your mind in a good place to learn things.
So you kind of open-minded. You relax. You wake up and it's like the air smells a lot fresher. You hear the birds. Like it's just, like I said, like hypnosis, they say it works. And I guess
it does work.
Like it's not putting me to sleep or putting me out hypnotized, but the way it made me feel, like I ain't want to say, oh, I work hypnosis-wise. I got hypnotized, but subliminal messages. You don't hear it. Like if you listen to music and some in the background, it's in there.
How often are you doing that brain tap thing?
Well, now I haven't done. I'm about to buy one of those from my physical therapist. He got some extra ones. He said he'd get rid of, so I can do it more. But I usually do it when I get into camp. And in my old physical therapist place, they relocated and closed down here, so that's why I haven't done it that much. But he said, I got some. I'll sell you some.
So if you have one at home, you'd use it every day?
Not every day. I don't want to get too sucked
crazy
into it, but yeah, at least twice a week.
Twice a week?
I do it when I go to therapy twice a week.
What about float tank? How often do you do that?
Float tank, I do that once.
Once?
Just that last day before I leave.
Wow. Just
kind of like water load. I don't want to over water load. If you drink too much water, it backfires. So I don't want to do the same thing with float tank because float tank is also great for the injuries in the body.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I found it at first. My shoulder was real messed up going to the Pat Cummins fight, and I kept getting a stinger. And I couldn't figure it out. And my physical therapist, she was like, you need to go try float tank. I think it'd be really good. Help you with your other bumps and bruises and pull off a couple ounces at the same time because all Epsom salt. Just sit there and try it. I reached out to the guy in Brick, and he gave me a little deal. I hook you up, you advertise for me, and I'll let you float. Yeah, so I did it, and I liked it. Like I said, the negative thoughts going into the Pat Cummins fight, that's where I got the dream. I got took down like 10 times.
Yeah. Because
I had a guy come on, he's like, I've trained with Pat. He's really good in wrestling. This guy was a national champ. He's really good. He might take you down a couple times, but he can't out-cardio you. And my mind was like, I don't want to get taken down at all. So I started having dreams. I was getting taken down like 10, 12 times about Pat. And that couldn't happen. And as you see, I ended up taking him down. I didn't even want to shoot that fight. I just wanted to kill him on the feet. I ended up taking him down 12 times, and I was struck the shit out of him.
Do you think you were taking him down because of your dream? Like you wanted to prove your dream wrong? Like maybe you had that in your head?
The first time I took him down, when it was so easy, I was just like, I'm just going to keep doing this. Hit him with a couple punches. When he get ready to punch, take him down. Because I'm thinking, in my mind, this guy's wrestled at the Olympic level. D1 All-American, Penn State, the best school out there. I'm thinking there's no way it's going to be easy to take this guy down. You have to wait till he get tired and chain wrestle. I did like one of my weakest blast doubles ever and just blew him off his feet and was like, that was kind of easy. But it's different when you got a guy that's used to taking people down, but nobody shoots on him.
Right.
He wasn't used to that.
Right.
You watch his fights, only person that shot him was Jan Blachowicz, and that's when he was tired. He finally got the takedown.
Yeah.
Everybody else couldn't get it. So it was like, I'm just going to try it. And when I went through him, it was like, oh, man, that was too easy. I told Mark in the corner, like when he had my leg in the corner, like, you got to defend it. You got to defend it. I could feel when we hit the cage, and my wizard was so tight, and he had the leg. I looked at Ricardo, I was like, and he asked me in the corner, why was you shaking your head? Like, he wasn't taking me down. He's not going to take me down. I can tell from the way he entered. I trained with Nick Catone, and he was another UFC vet. He's a fucking monster when it comes to wrestling. Him and Chris Weidman, two toughest dudes I've ever wrestled in the MMA game. And I knew when he entered in, he was nothing compared to those guys. I just looked at Nick or Ricardo and shook my head. And Nick knew because he was in the corner too. He knew. He could tell in my confidence. I wasn't worried. He's not getting me down. And after that, it was over.
So this brain tap thing, float tank 1 week before the fight, the last week. Do you have any other rituals that you do that you make sure you keep your head and your body in check?
I mean, like I said, I'm always doing physical therapy because, like I said, my body's so beat up. I've been competing since third grade. Ice baths every Sunday night. After I do all that, I go home and relax. And that night before I go to bed, 20 minutes and fill the tub up with ice and sit there. I do cryotherapy twice a week, once or twice a week, all training camp. Therapy twice a week. I do a massage every Sunday. I got a lady that used to train at our gym. Amazing. Right?
You ever fuck with yoga?
Yeah, I do that too. Every once in a while, like closer to get that flexibility. Hot yoga can help me get some pounds off a little easier so I can rehydrate more before sparring. I do that Friday night with Saturday sparring, so I'm more limber to throw kicks and stuff on my final spar throughout the week. So, you know, I got different places and companies I reach out to, and they help me, I help them.
That's awesome. So where are you at right now? Have they? First of all, what is going on with that knuckle? Holy shit!
That's just Glover's forehead. I hit him with an uppercut. And if you go, you
show
see the
everybody.
highlight.
Put your hand up.
Which way?
So they can see
this one
right in front of you. Look at that knuckle, folks. That's
I
an
ruptured
evil
the tendon
knuckle.
with an uppercut on Glover in the 3rd round. And I remember when Mark was calling a combo. He said, I can't remember the combo he said, and I hit him with the right hand, like, and I brought him, and I looked down with my hand up, and this finger like stuck out like that. I remember shaking my head to Mark, like, nope, we wrestling. And after he trying to shake my hand, like, slapped my hand, his hand's messed up, like, I think I dislocated my finger. He went back, just dislocate you, we probably back. And they couldn't get it. And we kept trying to just keep them taped together and keep it straight. It'd get better, and never did. And I remember my wife was like, don't move it. You got to quit moving. I was doing this, like doing exercise mentally. Like, it might hurt now, but if I get used to it, it never hurt again.
Did you ever go to a doctor?
Yeah. I went and I ruptured the tendon, and the tendon from here rolled all the way up, and that's what that is. It rolled up, and it was already fat because I broke this finger in college.
Rolled up.
Yeah. So all this, that's why it's like curved. Like when it go down.
So was there anything they could do for it?
They said we can straighten out and put a pin to attach it, but it would take, I wouldn't be able to bend my hand like this.
For how long?
But it'd be kind of like it wouldn't bend all the way anymore if I did that. That's what they said. Like, if you do that, you won't be able to fight. You know, it's kind of hard to fight like that. Because I guess the pin is kind of long, so it makes that joint not bend all the way. But when I went to the doctor, they did that. They was like, hold on. They did the x-ray and MRI. I was like, that makes no sense. Like, what? Like, this tendon is how you move this finger. So how the hell are you moving your finger with no tendon? I was like, I don't know. When it was taped together, I just kept doing it in Germany. While I was on my vacation with my wife, I just kept doing it. Exercising. She's like, well, I guess it's a good thing you did that, because if you wouldn't, it would have hardened up in here, and this joint would have been immobilized. I wouldn't be able to use it. But the fact that I kept doing it while it was fresh, I'm still able to move it.
That's the craziest looking finger I've ever seen in my life. That's like a triple finger. That's nuts, man. That's a wild looking joint. Yeah. And does that fuck with your grappling or anything? Nothing?
It's hard as a rock now. It doesn't bother me at all.
Wow. It's crazy looking, man.
I think it's a weapon now, you know, because the glove come right here. If I throw a hook with my right hand, right in your eye socket.
Right. It's all calcified, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where are you at right now in terms of, like, when does the UFC usually come to you with an idea of who you're going to fight next? Obviously, you beat Latifi. He was top 5? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I
beat 3 and 5.
What are they at? What do they got you ranked now?
8th or 9th.
How's that work?
You tell me.
How the fuck are you not 5?
You want to ask him, how does Corey Anderson not in the top 5 when I beat the number 3 and the 5? When I beat 3, they put me at 6.
I don't understand.
I beat 5, they put me at 6. Like, I beat Glover, and I went to 6. By the time I fought, I was 10th. That night in Cali, I was ranked 10th again. How the hell does that happen? Then I beat Alir, who was 6th, and I went, or 5th, or 4th one.
He was up
I went
there.
to 6.
Yeah.
And then a week later, I was at 7. The next week came out, I was at 8. Like, what the... Like, this makes no sense. And that's why, like,
if there's no fights.
Like, I'm
fights
done watching
happened.
I don't even care.
Well, you're clearly top 10. You know, whatever numbered that is. I mean, you got a murderer's row of people in that division. Mm-hmm. You know, so when do you think they'll come to you with an offer for another fight?
Well, they wanted me to fight Gus. At the time, like I said, after the fight on the microphone, I don't want to fight anything else until my baby's here. When the baby's here and everything's checked out, I don't have to be in camp and stress this and this. Once that's all done, we can talk. And they called me a couple weeks later about Gus, and because he tweeted me, and I had them ask me on Ariel, and I said the same thing, like, I'm waiting until my baby's done. Mm-hmm. That was March 15th. The due date of my baby was March 12th. Like, it's too close, not risking that, you know. Then it was like, all right, what about June 1st? And I was just saying, can I finish with my baby and stuff? I'm not really even training. I'm at home with my wife. I'm doing a little bit here and there, but I'm worried about her now. She's been with me ride or die this whole time. Now's my time to focus on her, what she needs. She didn't want me away, so I'm here. And they kept calling. I just kept saying, no. And they kept asking me. I was like, all right. And Ali was like, I mean, what if we get more money? If they give, my wife's like, if we get more, we'll take it. Okay. If they give you more, I'll let you go. Whatever. We can start camp or whatever. I was like, all right, if they give me more, we'll do it. And they said, oh, no, we're not doing that. I was like, all right, well, then wait. Let me finish this. Literally, my baby came out, and I felt that. I asked the doctor, is everything fine? They did the test. Everything came back good. Like, there's no problems. We don't have to go to the doctors, nothing. She's like, you're fine. You got a healthy baby boy. Congratulations. Literally, picked my phone up, tweeted Gus. Gus, you still want to go? June 1st, you want to do it? I'm your Huckleberry. Let's go. London, I'll come. Yes, Corey, I want to fight. Let's do it. Ali called me. It's on. His manager just called me. We want to fight. Let's do it. June 1st. Same pay, no raise, no nothing. Whatever I was getting, let's go. Text Dana. They called me the day before. On my way to the hospital, I get a call from Ali. They want to know if you want to fight. Bro, I'm on my way. I'll call you after. We'll figure it out. I say yes. Less than 24 hours later, they say, nah, we're giving it to Anthony Smith now. What the fuck y'all called me for yesterday? Harassing me all this camp. Now I say yes, and you're taking it away? Like, why y'all, what's going on? And that made me mad. Then they called me for Luke Rockhold. Like, I'm not taking a step back. Like, I want to be here for the title. If I beat Luke, what are they going to say? Because I guess if they told Ali if I beat Glover, since he was going to fight Alir, that put me in the contention for title fight. They gave me the new contract and everything with all that in it. Signed it. Then I was like, oh, he need one more fight. Then I was like, all right, make him and Alir fight. And Ali said no because he managed both of us.
But don't you think that Luke Rockhold's a good fight for you? I mean, he's a former champion.
A good fight, but it wouldn't do nothing.
He's a great fighter, but it would definitely elevate you in the public's eye. You don't think it would help you? You don't think it would help you in your rankings?
Sure it would, no. Rankings, what? No. You would think Alir Latif would have helped me in the rankings.
Yeah,
and Glover.
I don't buy that because I think that like rankings, like even if it's not 1 through 10, any one of those guys could fight for the title if they get like Thiago Santos, right? I mean, he lost to David Branch a year ago, right? At a middleweight.
Same night I beat Pat Cummins. Yeah, April 20th or April 13th or 18th, whatever.
And now he's fighting for the title. I mean, it was a quick ascension from devastating knockouts and fighting like a wild maniac like he does. I mean, he's a wild fighter to watch. Very, very entertaining guy. That's all it took.
Yeah, but who was the name? He didn't have to be the big name guy. That's the thing. He beat Jan Blachowicz, who I killed on my 4th fight in the UFC.
He beat Jimmy Manawa. Stopped him.
Eric Anders and the other guy were both 85ers. So he had 2 fights. It's because he had knockouts. That's the thing. Like I said, I told Ali, was like, bro, it's a good fight. He said the same thing you said. It's a good fight. Like, Ali, let's look at who I fought. I beat Glover, who was 3rd. They still didn't put me in the top fight. I beat Alir Latif, who they say is next to beat the champ, whatever. When I beat him, they still don't give me the credibility. It's like, oh, he's washed up now. I put a tweet out. I apologize to anybody that I beat because once you lose to me, it's kind of like you're a nobody. I'm like, I'm sorry for that. Tom Lawler posted a thing the other day saying, oh, these guys all fail. They get 6 months. I fail for the same thing. I get 2 years. I said, I'm sorry, Tom. It's because you lost to me. I think dead serious. If you lose to me, you get the short end of the stick. I'm sorry.
Is this, though, the same thing as having that asshole coach when you were in college? Is it in the same way? Like it's just giving you more motivation?
Answer back to tweets and shit because in my head, things like that I've been through, even though I should have learned, but now it doesn't matter. But in my mind, I voiced my opinion to that coach, and when I proved him wrong, I ran into his assistant coach later on in life, and he said he doesn't really like you anymore because the guy actually I fought in the Ultimate Fighter was his best friend, Kelly Nuss, one of his All-Americans. He used to call him back when I was in college trying to discipline me. If I did some shit to piss him off, he would have Kelly come in and try to beat me up. Never happened. He couldn't beat me up like that, and he used to get pissed at that. So the fact that he thought he had like a hold on me with this transcript, and I got out, and then I ended up fighting Kelly on the show, and he said that too in practice one time. He'd kill you in MMA. He'd kill you in MMA. Well, the opportunity came, and I beat him. And somebody told me, he wasn't happy about that. He didn't like the fact that you beat Kelly. I'm sorry. I don't do things for him.
But this thing where you don't feel like you're getting the respect that you deserve, it does motivate you, though. It does give you, a little bit of extra juice in the gym.
I mean, I'm a motivated guy anyway, highly motivated. The moment I wake up, open my eyes, it's time to get to work.
So your son's born. The Anthony Smith coming, he had Anthony Smith survived against John Jones, and especially early on, he looked good. Showed good technique, showed that he's really a world class fighter, and I think that they just think that would be. He probably said yes when you said no, and they gave it to him. While you were waiting and your son was being born. So now you're just waiting for another call.
Yeah, but the thing is, go back to that real fast. You said yes when he said no. I watched this interview, with Ariel Helwani, and they said the day after he fought John Jones, they called him about Anthony Smith or about Gus. Really? So that was about the same time they was calling me. So it's kind of like they were just throwing it out there. And then Ali said, I guess they offered it to Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker's manager made a post. I seen that. We offered us Gus. They were just throwing it out there for whoever's going to be the first person to say yes.
Well, they probably have a bunch of people say yes, and then they sit down. Yeah. And they go over it. What looks best for us? What do we have? Yeah. I'm not a matchmaker, obviously. I'm not
what goes on
promoter. I sort of barely do, man. I'm telling you, I know as little as anybody should in my position.
That's right. You're an independent contractor.
But legitimately, I have no fucking say. Look, if they listen to me, first of all, there'd be no more weight cutting, and there'd be weight classes every 10 pounds. That's what I would fix. I would fix that right away. I would do the same sort of hydration testing that ONE FC does. Let people fight at their natural weight. So you don't have these ridiculous 40-pound weight cuts. Like, did you see Brandon Davis in his last fight? Mm-mm. He fought at 135. I saw his fight,
but I didn't see the weight cut.
He looked fantastic.
He looked pretty skinny because I heard him say he was a 45 or whatever.
He's giant. At 135, I'm standing next to him like, how the fuck are you 135 pounds? He does not. He looks like he's 170.
That's like Montel Jackson too, though.
Yes.
I know him. He's about the same height as me. That's like
crazy.
Like, how the hell you make 135
with giant hands?
Like you're a grown ass man.
Montel's got basketball palming hands.
He got hands bigger than Francis Ngannou.
Yes, he does. They're huge. At a 35-pounder, man, and he fights smart too, smart and technical.
Yeah, I watched him on the regional circuit. He fought in my hometown a few times. I would go there, special guest, and watch. And I saw him his fight in amateur, and I told Jen, like, this kid could be good. He trained up in Milwaukee, but not Rufus Sport, Red Schaefer's at the time.
Yeah.
And I saw him. I used to go up there and train with her. And I watch him like hitting pads and doing stuff. Like, he's funky. He could be good when he go pro.
He could be a champion.
And then sure enough, his first fight went the way it did. And then Cali, I remember sending him in the hotel, like, Montel, let me holler at you real fast. Like, you know, I know you. I done seen you fight, bro. Go out there and do what you do. You're fucking good. Like, hit this dude as much as you can. When he forces a shot, get a submission. And you can't finish him with ground and pound. You can finish this dude. Like, I got you, bro. Thank you. And he went out there and did it in the back. I was like, man, I was surprised. Like, I'm not. I knew that. I seen what he's done in the gym. I know what he can do.
He's special. He really is. He's got real potential. But he doesn't freak me out as much as Brandon Davis in terms of weight.
He looks
cutting.
healthy at his weight.
Brandon Davis, like, I couldn't believe that he ever weighed 135. When I'm looking at him, like, you're so big for that weight. And he was 45 before that. And apparently the PI, the UFC Performance Institute, they're the ones who talked him into going to 35. They're like, you can make the cut. He was more than 160 when he was in the octagon.
And that means, I heard him say, I'm about 160 now. If the PI said he can make it, that's good. Because when I went there, at one point, coming off the OSP or Jimmy, I can't remember, Mark and him was like, oh, you always think about 85. I'm like,
85?
Yeah. But I said, oh, Coach, you got me off 300 pounds. Like, well, maybe. Like, I tried the test cut. It didn't go well, but now the PI was here. So I emailed them and went out there, and we did a test, and Clint and Bo both said, well, Bo told me just get stronger. Clint was like, I'm going to tell you right now, Corey, I seen your numbers compared to other numbers. You walk around smaller, but when you put your own a system, your numbers is like, you're like leaner than most of these guys. Like you can make 85, but you probably like die. Like it wouldn't be healthy at all. It wouldn't be worth it.
Well, so many guys like Dustin Poirier, so many guys going up in weight class have been the best thing that's ever happened to them. So Jorge Masvidal, so many guys, they go up to 70, they just look better.
Robert Whittaker.
Whittaker's a perfect
example. Now.
Champ. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a bad environment when there's 20-pound weight gaps between like 85 and 205, or even 15 between 55 and 70. These are giant weight gaps. That's too much weight.
You got to think from 205 to 85. That's 20 pounds. People are like, oh, you can make it like you. Did you see me when I'm on the scale at 205? No, it ain't like I'm still flat. Like my abs is popping. Yeah. Like my cheekbones. What do you think I'm gonna look at 20 extra pounds?
Oh, you'd be a dead man. Yeah, you look like a dead man. I mean, you'd have to literally like do something to your body. Like you'd have to run marathon distances.
That's like
Brandon was running like 20 miles a day. Brandon Davis before that fight.
That's Carl Robeson. Because he was a big 85er. Like he fought 205 on Contender, but he wasn't like solid at 205. You can see he still had more body fat or stuff he can get off. I remember going out to the PI and they told him, like, you're going to become like a marathon runner. This can't. What do you mean? They gave him his meal plan. It was like very small meals, but you got to run like 5 to 3 to 6 miles a day. And then bike after that, another 10 to 15 at night. So that's what we was doing. Like Sunday, hit me up, like, you ready to go to the park? All right, we go bike 15 miles, and I leave. He go run the thing, a 5-mile loop. Again, like, bro, that's fucking, I have to if I want to make weight. But now he's got it down pat to where he doesn't have to do that anymore. He had to get his body to where he's supposed to be, walking around like 205 to 210 max, lean. So when he get into camp, a good 2-3 mile run, get him down to 201. Now it's just like eat right and train.
And then suck that last few pounds off.
Yeah, certain people like that. But like when you see me, like I see like next to Glover, that's when I really pay attention to it. When I came in at 236 on 2-week notice, we look about the same. We got on the scale, or when we did the face-off and we turned sideways, like, you kind of see like he's thinner, but I got my torso and everything is thick because I was 300 pounds at one point. I don't lose that frame.
Did you ever think about heavyweight?
In the UFC, Mark said it before.
Yeah.
He even said, like, bro, the way 85, 205, and heavyweight, 85 is like 205ers. That's a little smaller, faster, but they don't hit as hard as they do in 205. In heavyweight, they hit hard, but they're a lot slower and faster than 205. So you can go up, and I think you still do great. And if you go down, I think if you rehydrate it right back up, you just go through everybody. But I like 205. Like I said, I haven't been dominated. Until somebody showed me I don't need to be here,
right?
I'm not going anywhere.
Well, especially when you're walking around at 235, that's really the weight class for you. Yeah, 205.
Yeah, like I said,
you feel great and healthy at that weight. Yeah, why fuck around? The heavyweight division is so strange too because it's got a weight limit. Like 265 always weirded me out. Like, why is there a weight limit? Like, there should probably be a 225, and then there should be an unlimited.
Yeah,
it should be as big as you fucking get. You know, like
a bunch of butter balls just rolling around each other. That'd probably be boring.
Or giant dudes like Ngannou that don't even have to cut weight, you know?
Yeah, like Curtis Blades, I know he was a big one.
He's huge.
Before he came in, yeah. I recruited him in college, and I seen him in high school. He was big. Then, who's another one? Juan something. He just came in from the Contender. Light-skinned dude with the afro, real crazy. He fought in Milwaukee, the Milwaukee card. Heavyweight. He fought my buddy in the Contender. They went out there 3 weeks before. And he was like 290 something. 3 weeks before, my teammate was like 250 already. And I told him, like, bro, this ain't gonna be no regional fight. You need to come ready. This dude is huge. When he hits you, he's hitting you. And if he gets you to the ground, he's Donkey Kong you. I had seen film on him, and Curtis Blades hit me up about him when he first started fighting pro. And I seen film. And I told him, like, I seen film, but looking at how big this kid is, it's not gonna be a fight you're used to. And sure enough, I think my guy took it like. He was like, oh, he's big, but he's not going to be as fast as me. Shit. He rehydrated up, and he was athletic as that was not a fight to watch. But
lessons learned.
Yeah.
Now, if you were running shit, if Corey Anderson's president of the UFC, what would you change?
The rankings.
The rankings.
Go back to where it was. If you beat this guy, you move up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why do they do it now? They do it based on, like,
I have no
journalists?
clue who runs it. Yeah, something like that.
Something like that?
A bunch of dudes vote for it. That's what they say.
Yeah.
In my mind, I think somebody in the UFC still has something to do with it, but they swear up and down every time I say something, I like, it's not them, bro. It's somebody else, but I don't know. Because even Mick, after the Glover fight, he told me, like, bro, that was a hell of a fight. Thank you for stepping in. You've definitely been in top 5. And I said in the interview, like, I should be top 5, but I got a feeling I won't be. Then everybody in the interview, like, that sounds crazy. You just beat the number 3. You'll definitely be top 5. Wednesday came out, number 6. And people were tweeting, like, how does that make sense? Then I'd be a leader. It's like, oh, there's no question. You'll be top 5. Like,
but if everything starts going great for you and growing the right way, do you think you'd be like, well, what the fuck am I fighting against now?
Well, that's why I made a tweet. Somebody posted before, like, I don't understand how Corey's steady dropping down the rankings when you got guys like Dominic Reyes. He beat Volkan, who was 4, and everybody say, oh, he lost that fight, but Volkan was 6 actually, or something like that. He lost that fight, but he jumped up to 4. Like, how does he won off decision? Like, oh, it's because you lose or win on decision. They don't move rankings up for decision. Then he won off decision. He went up to number 4. And somebody said, how is that even possible? I said, it's to the point now. I can't worry about fighting people that's in charge of the rankings and my opponent. Because if I worry about both of them, I'm not focused on something.
Yeah.
So I'm just worried about the opponent. I'm just going to keep beating whoever they put in front of me. And eventually, if they keep trying to put these guys up to fight John, like off knockouts, like you said, Anthony Smith, he knocked out Rashad, Shogun, and then choked out Volkan. He went up there to UFC, John, and didn't have nothing on the ground, all that extra stuff. It's good when you're knocking guys out. And I think it's going to be the same thing with Santo. He's known for knocking guys out, but his losses in 85, other than Branch, he lost Eric Spicely on the ground. John's good on the ground. John's going to take him down as soon as you come running in. Yeah. If you hit him once, John's going to take you down, and you ain't going to have no answer.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you don't have everything tested by the time, when it's time to go to the championship fight, if you can't do nothing striking, it's over.
Thiago, to me, seems like, I mean, he's a very dangerous guy, but almost like so aggressive that he's almost like a kamikaze guy. Like he's do or die, like kill or be killed. He comes in just swinging, throwing hammers. And if he connects, it's dangerous. If he connects, it's bad for everybody. But he might not connect, you know? I mean, that's kind of how he is. He's a wild card. That's the best way to put it. Like, he could connect on John. If John fucks around, and I don't think he will. I mean, he hasn't ever before, except for the Gustafsson fight. I don't think he was prepared as much as he should have. And we saw that in the second fight where he just dominated him. But I think that if he makes a mistake, Thiago could shut the lights out on anybody. 100%. That guy swings.
He throws like it's the sledgehammer. He throws
He's not trying to make it to the final round. Like, he's not pacing himself. There's none of that. That dude, he comes out hard.
But it's like, I think about him as my fight with Lil Latifi. Going into that fight, I knew 100%. Now, literally, he's going to try to wrestle me. But if he can't take me down, everything is going to be haymakers because he's seen me get touched in the chin and go down and wobble. So as long as I keep moving, if I make him miss, he's going to get tired. And he's going to stop throwing those big haymakers. And sometimes when he's swinging, he misses, he almost falls over. And it gives you like the counter or the takedown.
Yeah.
That's the thing in our division. There's so many people, more like rock'em sock'em robots, I think, because they got their hands up and they blocking. It's like, oh, he's not hitting me. But with 4-ounce gloves, I was cage side for Ryan Bader and Anthony Johnson. Bader had his hands up, but Rumble was hitting his hands so hard. Yeah. All of a sudden, you see his hands just drop, and he was out. It doesn't matter. If you let him hit you, there's a chance of still getting wobbled. And I think with John's good at evading punches. Most guys stand there, block and counter back, or try to take a punch and hit you back. Like, take a punch to give a punch. John's not that kind. He's going to move, and you swing. He's so long, he can put his hands out and keep you at distance and hit you with those quick, fast, long kicks and stuff. And I just, like you said, I don't see John messing around. He knows it's dangerous. He's smart. I would say John's not only the best fighter, and mentally, as a mixed martial artist, he sees what's going on really well. Yeah. And he knows how to adapt. He can go out there and try tricky stuff at times when I can try some stuff right here and get away with it because I'm long. Yeah. Like with the Shogun fight, he went out there and showed out jumping knees, jumping kicks because Shogun was so short. And he said it. I'm a different breed. I'm longer, I'm faster and trickier. But I think when it comes to a guy like Gus, he didn't do all that stuff, but he knew he had to stay long and evade punches and get a takedown and hit him where you can.
Yeah, in the Gus fight, he showed his mettle, right? He showed that he could take it and then win in the championship rounds, even in a fight that he wasn't even really properly prepared for. He showed that in the Vitor Belfort fight, too, when he got caught with that armbar. Yep. He overcomes adversity. He's not just a hammer. He knows how to be the nail. He knows how to do it. Well, listen, Corey, you're a bad motherfucker. I appreciate you coming here. It was fun.
We ain't going to talk hunting?
You want to talk hunting more? We did 3 hours, man.
Well, we talked all MMA. Let's get 30 minutes hunting. Let's 30 minutes hunting.
Okay, let's do it.
I want to talk hunting.
Okay, let's talk hunting, man.
I'm a hunter. But
you told me you're going on your first elk hunting trip this year.
Yep, getting out to Montana.
Where part is it around?
I can't remember. It's, he gave me the codes to put into the DNR site.
Are you using a different set? Because you're using a light setup out there, but that's for target, right?
Here I got the
60 pounds.
Yeah, 60. It's like 62 or 63.
And how many grains arrows? You said like less than
260.
Yeah, that's a really light arrow, man.
I'll use when I go out there for elk hunting. I use either 300, so I got the grizzly stick weighted tips, or whatever.
So 300 grains. That's it.
That's usually what I shoot. 300 grain.
I shoot 525. 525 grains. I should pull 84 pounds. I like heavy arrows. The tip and everything in it. I don't know what it is with the insert. I just know it's 300 weight. I don't weigh it. With everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to get the scale. I make my own arrows in the basement and all that, but I don't have the scale to see how much it weigh at the end.
Are you trying to do that for speed? Is that why you have the light grains?
That's just what my guy Aces and Arrows hat I'm wearing actually in Vegas.
I'm going to connect you to John Dudley. I mean, I know you've already talked to him, but I want to get you guys together. Next time you're anywhere near here and he's anywhere, or if you're in Vegas and he's in Vegas, I'm going to get you guys together and have him coach you and help you. Because I already see that you're very accurate. You know, when we're playing techno hunt, you're scoring in the vitals every single time. You know, except for one little body shot, but even that's a dead elk where you hit it. But John can help you tremendously. He'll tighten up your shit.
Yeah, I would love that. I see his videos. I study that stuff all the time. But again,
he's like the Mark Henry of archery.
I see it.
Yeah,
that 100-yard shot through the kettlebell on the target. I tell my friends all the time, like, that was the most amazing thing I ever seen. The hole is this big. At 100 yards, he went through and the arrow only broke because of vibration.
Yep.
It's like you don't see people shooting. Like Cam is good too, but I'm not saying he couldn't do it, but I don't.
Cam could do it too.
Yeah, but Cam doesn't post videos shooting through kettlebells and
the lessons he posts some crazy videos too. But I mean, it's just that level of commitment where they're just constantly training, constantly doing. And John is also just such a fantastic coach. You know, he's so good at understanding archery fundamentals and explaining it to you, positioning, and it's very much like martial arts in that you make a few little changes and it does the world a difference.
I'm willing to learn.
Yeah.
Like I said, most of the stuff I'm learning on the fly. Like my dad, we learned how to shoot together when I was like 12. One of his buddies was like, "Oh, you ever did archery?" Took him to the range, got me a Browning when I was a kid, and I was shooting there, did 3D shooting with him. It's kind of like what I learned was from what he learned. But if you know my dad, everything other than work, everything is kind of like ghetto. I used to call him the ghetto cowboy. We had horses and everything. And it was just like the way you see people do it on TV and whatnot was not the way my dad learned how to range horses and grab horses and saddle them up, and everything was kind of ghetto. So I was the ghetto cowboy, you know. So now when I go back from things I learned, and I tell him, because like you said, you see my Instagram, I'm all hunting. You know, if I ain't fighting, I'm hunting.
Constantly.
And he'd be like, where'd you learn this? It's just watching videos. And I go hunt with somebody else, just instead of talking, like I talk about what I know, but most of the time I'm just sitting there listening to guys talk. And I ask a question like, yeah, like I don't know what it is, but I make it seem like I do. But yes, what do you think about that? And they break it down. Like, I had no clue about that. You know what I mean? Learn how to field dress my first deer in Texas with these guys, Hero Sports, a bunch of veterans. We go out. They asked me and Justin Gaethje. That's how I got close with Gaethje, hunting with those guys. We go out with veterans with amputated legs or mental problems, whatever. Just listen to their story, and we kill a deer. Like they've been hunting their whole life. They grew up as kids, so field dressing and how to call and like you shooting the rifle, like, oh, you go to this website, and if you got 110 grain bullet, it shows you here at 300 yards, aim on this crosshair. And and I learned different stuff from those guys, veterans that do this stuff for a living. They done been to war and learn how to shoot a gun. Then guys, these are like John Dudley. I see his videos and his school of knocks and whatnot, watching stuff like that. Like you said, you ever had any coaching? Like, what I do is just practice over and over and over. When I'm at the range, the owner, Mike of A&M, he'll come out and be like, oh, kind of try to turn your head a little bit more. I didn't have a kisser button. Put a kisser button on. That'll force you to turn your head. And you need to be straight with the line, straight down, and think about pushing this lifeline through. And just stuff like that. And I just practice. Like I said, I used to shoot at least 100 arrows a day. Like I said, I popped that truck bed down, put the radio on, and sit out there and shoot. I shot one time so long, I couldn't move my neck back the next morning. I fell asleep like this, and I woke up. I could not. I was stuck. Like, I didn't even train because I was stuck with my head turned like this because my neck had got tight. Because I was crunching up here and doing this like I wasn't supposed to, but it all tightened up.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I'm learning the hard way. Just like I went turkey hunting this last week.
Archery turkey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never been turkey hunting before. I've only seen on YouTube. I heard somebody telling me at the trade show, the Great American Outdoors, and it just sounds so interesting. And I started YouTubing, and I ordered all the stuff I need, decoys, and I was teaching myself, watching videos. Now, the first day I slate called and box called, I was like, I know that's not right. Now, I can't do that. Now I put it on the slate, and it sounds like an actual turkey calling. Like I'm good in a week. I just study and try.
Right.
So, stuff like that. So, I just look forward to.
Have you ever fucked with those hex suits?
The who?
Hex suit. You know what it is? HECS. It's especially with birds. Birds can navigate using magnetics. They use like the magnetic pole and electromagnetic fields. It's been proven that birds can register and they sense electromagnetic fields. And they think that birds in particular and sea creatures too, like they use it with scuba divers and spear fishermen and people like that. There's a suit that blocks the electromagnetic signal that your body gives off. And it's supposedly particularly effective with turkeys, who are very they see very well, and they see things, movement, and they're very, very skittish. If they see any weird shit, they just get the fuck out of there. But this guy Mike Slinkard, who's one of the guys who created the hex suit, he hunts turkeys with no blind. He just sits out in the field with this hex suit on that blocks the electromagnetic signal, and then he puts camo on over the hex suit. And there's videos of him doing this, man. It's kind of crazy. You know, this is
I gotta check that out.
This is him sitting there. So he's sitting with this hex suit on right in front of these turkeys. Now, you know as well as I know that most of the time, if you were right in front of a turkey like that, they would get the fuck out of Dodge.
Unless you got your little decoy, the feather thing they put over.
But he doesn't have that. They don't.
He got a decoy in his hand.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably got something.
See the body behind
there's a giant body behind him that he's moving. But the idea is that it can't see the electromagnetic signal that you're giving off. There's a lot of videos on it. It's super controversial, but Dudley swears by it. John Dudley swears by it, and a lot of other folks do too.
Does that
Shane
work for
Dorian.
whitetail too?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it works for everything. I think animals can sense something. I mean, it's not everything, right? I mean, you still can't be downwind or upwind. You know, if your wind comes and catches them, they're gonna smell you and they're gonna get the fuck out of there. Mm-hmm. But it's another. What is that?
That's him with camo.
Jesus
camo,
Christ,
how it looks.
That's a great picture. Like, that's a perfect example of how camo works, right? That picture.
It's great, but you gotta. If you try to take that picture, if me and you tried that, you're gonna see me. It's like the perfect angle in the filter.
Of course. I mean, it's the perfect type of leaves, the perfect angle, the perfect lighting. It's probably fucked with a little. But, the hex suit is a very controversial thing. But people smarter than me say it works. It really works with sea creatures for some reason. With things in the water. Because, animals, they have that lateral line. Or fish, rather, have that lateral line. And they sense electrical signals that are coming off of creatures that are in the water. And so scuba divers swear by this suit. It's interesting stuff.
Crazy. Never even heard. I'm like, what?
I'll get them to send you some.
I'll try it out for sure.
Well, like I said, I listen to Dudley when it comes to I'm like you when it comes to martial arts. If someone's teaching me something, I just listen. I don't second guess. And when a guy as wise as him says that it works, I'm curious about it.
At least try it before I knock it.
Yeah.
If it don't work for me, then all right, maybe it's just I'm doing something wrong. And if they come and show me, and it still don't work, it's kind of like, I don't believe it. But if it worked, I'm going to try it.
Do you have a particular camo company that you appreciate?
Right now I'm using Sika.
Sika's the best.
Yeah, I love it.
They're the best.
They gave me a little pro deal, 50% off. Whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So it worked out perfect. I love it. It's still expensive, but it's worth it.
Yeah. They just have so much engineering in their shit. And guys like John Barklow, the guy who's the designer that does all the testing in cold weather. And you ever see the cold water immersion test they've done with their shit? He's got a rewarming drill that he put online explaining to people what you do if you're in cold conditions and you fall into the water, like how to rewarm yourself. He's got a whole video where he did it. They jumped into this icy river and then, and then climbed out. And, the suits are designed and a lot of the clothing is designed to allow you to survive in that sort of a situation. But, you have to know how to do it, how to go about it. So there's John and this guy that he's with. And they just there's John on the right, and they dunk themselves in this freezing fucking water and then get out, and then they put on sleeping bags and got in the tent. And
I'm going to tell you right now, that's some WPS, Joe. You're not going to see no black man dunking himself in no frozen water.
That's WPS.
Just to prove that's some WPS.
It's white people shit.
You're not going to see no brother and no ice bag just to prove a point. I'm cool.
Well, he's educating people. That was actually when he was in the military. That's what he did. He taught cold weather survival. He's so thorough too, and he's one of the reasons why Sitka's gear is so well engineered and designed, because they've got a guy like him that's telling them how to design things. And he's a hunter too. He hunted with me last year. I hunted elk with him in Utah.
I'm actually gonna get the test out. Like my buddy told me before. Like I promise you, Sika, you get that warm and stuff. No matter how cold, you're not gonna get cold. Like
it's the best shit.
So I'm going to Saskatchewan, Canada for whitetail in November.
Yeah.
The guy, he told me, he said, he's like, it's not that bad, but it's kind of like, what's not bad? He was like, sometimes like -10. Like, that's fucking bad. Like, you come right, I got an extra bodysuit for you. So I'm going to get their super warm gear and try it out. And he said, if it don't work, I'll let you use the bodysuit. But yeah,
well, you might need the bodysuit in Saskatchewan. Yeah. It's fucking cold.
I'm gonna test and see if it really works. I might see your boys' videos. Check it out.
That Canada cold's a different are those people are hardy folks.
Yeah, we went out there in June for the bear hunt. Actually, me and my dad. In the mornings, it was cold.
Yeah.
And by the time the day the sun come out, and then we go to the top of the mountain. To glass, and oh man, fast, like instantly, hands froze. I'm in the truck in the heat, and he just out there chilling in his t-shirt. Like, this is, how do they do this?
They're just used to it.
Yeah.
Now, when you were up there, was that spot and stalk, or yeah? So you catching them when they were coming out of the dens and eating grass?
We have to go up to the top of the viewing point at the top of the mountain, and we look. Me, him, and my dad. He had the spot and scope, and we both from binoculars. He said, "Just look for a black dot. You see something, you tell me, and I put the spot and scope on it and see if it's a sow or a bear we can get. Have something like, oh, if it's a sow, it's her cubs. We're not shooting those. We only want old males." And it's crazy because it's a 30-minute drive to the top of the mountain. So after we see him, it might look like it's right there. It takes like an hour to get down there. Then we got to park. And then we still got to walk 20, 30 minutes and hope he's still in that area.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like I said, we came across elk. We came across cougars, all kind of stuff. But you get there and that bear was gone.
Yeah.
And we hopped. Then we was like, all right, back to the truck, back to the top. And we did it all day till like it got dark. And it took us till midnight or whatever to get home because it was so far into the mountains. And it was great, like I said. But it was walking, and I had the wrong boots. I had like work boots, so my calves and stuff was burning the first day. And I'm with the head guy. He's like, I don't like driving. I was like walking a lot. So we did a whole lot of walking. He's like, I figured you being a UFC fighter, I could test you out. I never had a guy as athletic as you that's able to walk. Most people are overweight or not that athletic. So you want to go a little bit and it's time to go to the truck. Like I can test you out.
It's a lot of cardio, man.
Who you
walking
telling?
up those hills.
Who you man? I had never been so sore in my life. That's what my mom said, like, Mr. Overtime 25-8. Like, you ain't did it, mama.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's different walking up those hills. And those guys that get used to it, those very specific muscles that you use when you're constantly hiking up hills.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said you did a black bear hunt before, right?
Yeah, I did a few.
A bow or rifle?
Bow. In north of Alberta with my friends John and Jen, the Rivets up there. They got a great camp up there. I just don't have the time to get away for that many camps, and I prefer elk hunting.
How many camps you do a year?
I'm going to do 4 this year. 2 elk, 1 axis deer, and 1 mule deer.
Now, what about Saskatchewan whitetail? You seen those?
Fuck.
But would you do it?
Yeah, I would do it. Yeah, I would do it.
He said he'd do whatever hunt
this
he wanted
year
to do.
I can't because I do have something scheduled in November already.
Well, you tell me when. And
I can't do more than 1 hunt a month. I'll get divorced. My kids will beat me up.
I'm on the verge of that already. Every morning I get up 4 o'clock. She just put the baby back to sleep. I'm up making noise
I know.
Wish me luck. I'll see you when I get back.
I know they don't like it, man. It's funny, but I get it. But it's one of those things that just takes a lot of time. Like if you're going to go on a hunting trip, it's 7 days away. You have 7 days, and you're going to be probably somewhere where there's no cell phone signal. But for me, man, it's very valuable for my head. I recenter out there. I get it, man. There's fucking animals chasing deer and things are trying to survive, and it just puts everything in perspective for me. When I'm sneaking up on an elk and I'm tiptoeing through the grass, and I'm just trying to get inside of like 60, 70 yards just to get a good shot off, and I'm trying to make sure the wind is right, and I'm not thinking about anything else, man. Nothing. And when I draw back and I center my pin, and I'm looking through the peep sight, and everything's right, and the housing's level, and I've got my anchor point, and I'm pulling with my back muscles, and I'm just concentrating on that spot. Aim small, miss small. The world goes away. The world goes away.
Martial art.
And when that arrow finds that crease and sinks right through there, and you see those fletchings disappear, and you're like, we fucking did it. That's what people will never understand. Like, why would you be happy you killed an animal? Because it's so hard to do. Mm-hmm. It's not that you're happy the animals die. You're happy you did it. It's a relief. It's so hard to do. It's like people don't understand, like, to maintain calmness and stillness when you're drawing on an animal. It's not like a rifle. I've shot things with a rifle, and it's not easy. It's more hard than people think it is, but it's way easier than using a bow.
Exactly.
It's not even close.
Because you got to draw back without being spotted.
Yeah.
Then you got to hold steady.
Yeah.
Like the rifle is you got sticks.
Yeah.
You put on the stick, pull it to the shoulder. Like you said, it ain't easy, but you find the crosshair. Once you get it settled, it's there. With that
then
bow,
it's just squeeze.
Sometimes
yeah.
I pull it down so they don't see me. So right now I'm starting to shake. I've been holding like the one I held 3 minutes and 41 seconds. I had to record, and I held for his butt coming. He kept stopping. Like I feel my back. So like, I got up and now I'm like wobbly. I'm like, what? And I posted a video after that kill. Like, people wonder why I'm so proud of my kills. Like, do you know what it's like being 235 pounds, 6'3", in a tree, not being spotted, hold the bow, and you got to control your breathing.
Yeah.
And one wrong move in my head, if I go to itch something, he see my hat move, the silhouette, he's gone. It's like literally, like I posted a video and it looked like a picture. Like just me holding, and it looked like a picture because I never moved. Like, I don't think anybody would understand how hard it is to be as big as I am, all the way up in the tree with a climber. I'm using the climber, so that's hard too. And get up and just sit still, the wind blowing, everything. You can't sway, your scent, everything has to be right. It's an art to it.
People never know. They'll never know unless they do it. It's one of those things. And many people that get mad at people that do it are meat eaters, which drives me crazy. They think there's something wrong with killing wild animals. Like that's the best way to do it, because these animals, first of all, you're gonna get organic, real, wild meat. It's better for you. Second of all, like, these animals lived a real life. They're not like caged.
Chained up in a butcher shop.
Come on.
The funniest thing, after I got the bear, me and my dad got, and we posted a picture. And this lady, she's in the same supplement company. And I know she eats meat. I've seen her at a barbecue, her and her husband, like, pounding burgers. And when I posted the picture, she's like, I can't believe you. I will no longer follow you. How could you dare go in the wild and kill a bear to eat it? I said, don't you eat burgers? You went and got a cattle that somebody took and chained up and slaughtered. You rather that than me going out and getting them the most natural way ever?
Not only that, if you love animals, you got to kill bears because they eat everything.
Yeah.
They eat 50% of all the deer fawns and elk calves, they get killed by bears. 50% of them.
Like, I posted a picture of killing a coyote once, and everybody like, oh, why'd you kill a coyote? It didn't do anything to you. But the thing they didn't see, I posted a video a week later. I killed the coyote as he was chasing down a doe.
Yeah.
He was trying to get him, and I saw it, and I swung through it, and right when he came out, pow, flipped him, and it was over. I saved the deer's life. But all y'all saw was the picture of the coyote. Well, you can't eat them. Yeah, but I saved the other wildlife. It's just, you never make everybody happy.
You can't make anybody happy that doesn't understand hunting. That's for sure. They have this perception of it from movies and from a lot of those redneck stupid TV shows where, you know, they don't portray hunting in a positive way. And so people get this negative impression about it. But I think with more people like you, elite athletes that are getting into it. Bo Jackson is a big bow hunter. You know, there's a lot of bow hunters now that are, you know, that were just athletes and they realize like, wow, this is thrilling and exciting. And then it's the best meat in the world. So you have so many pros and it's I think it's the most ethical way to eat meat because you're going out and getting it yourself. You're not hiring some supermarket hitman. You're doing it yourself.
All right, that's the thing. Well, my YouTube channel, that's the main point. It ain't all about hunting. It's more like, one, a black guy in the hunting community. Two, showing people it's more than just killing. Like so far, the one I'm editing now is a turkey hunt. This whole week I'm out there, but I didn't kill anything. But it's more showing you. Like, it's more. Like you see the deer walk up, the view, the sun coming up, the sun going down.
And you're shooting all this and editing it too?
Yeah, I'm doing it all myself.
Now, do you think you'll have a career in that after you get done with fighting?
Well, like I told when I meet people at the shows that willing to work with me, like they're like, what do you want? Like, I don't want no money or anything. I just want your help. If you can let me use one of your gear, one of your things, and I advertise it, I put your little link at the beginning, Tacticam, Bow Creek, different people I use, just put a thing on there. Just say, I don't want money, but because I'm just a fighter. I'm not a hunter, but I love the sport. You know, I love hunting, and you share, you help advertise, whatever. I just want to get as well known as I am in fighting, I want the same thing in hunting. And what that do is I just bring other people because I see, like when I go to the bow shop, people ask all the time. Like today I was in the hotel with my bow, like, oh, you got a gig somewhere with a guitar? Like, no, it's a bow and arrow. You see the guy say, bow and arrow. He look at me. Oh, yeah, I hunt all the time. I love hunting. Especially when you see me, like I told my wife, I'm the first person on Joe Rogan shooting a techno thing with Jordans, a do-rag, or with a bow. Like, it don't work that way. Like, you don't see nobody wearing do-rag and Jordans.
It's
you
very
see that
rare.
guy on the streets with sounds, but you see me with a bow or a gun.
I wonder if you're the first guy to ever shoot techno hunt wearing a do-rag.
And a bow.
You might be.
And
Jordans. Well, Jordans,
retro,
maybe someone's done that before.
Not with the do-rag.
Not with the do-rag.
You might get somebody with a do-rag without the Jordans.
Right.
You might get somebody with the Jordans without the do-rag.
It's true.
I got them both.
You got the combo.
You know what I mean? So that's the thing. I want people to see with the show, not about hunting. Just, you don't have to be the typical, what people see. You see country guys, cowboy hats, cowboy boots, kickers in their trucks and everything. That's the guy you expect to be a hunter.
Right.
The guy walk around a camel, but I want somebody to see. Because people find out, like, you hunt? I love it. That's it. I'd rather be a hunter than anything.
When people see a top-level UFC fighter doing it, they're like, whoa, really?
Like it's his life.
Yeah. Well, I love that you love it, man. It means a lot to me, man. I think that positive role models like you are what the sport needs to change people's. I don't want to say sport because I don't think hunting is a sport. Let's call it a discipline, a culture to change people's perceptions of it. The positive people like you that are elite athletes, and just for people to get a chance to see, like, hey, this is. I mean, I'm not encouraging everyone to do it, but I think there's a lot of people that would love it that have never tried it because they maybe don't have an understanding of what it actually is. So if they see you or they see the videos of you doing, like Chad Mendez is deep. He's deep into it. That's all he wants to do.
I love it.
He loves it. That's all he wants to do. I mean, he basically is fighting to pay for his hunting career. You know?
Yeah, I plan
there you
on.
go.
Oh, hey, you found it. Like I said, this is just scouting and stuff.
Yeah.
But like right now, I got.
So is this in Jersey?
Yeah, this is like behind my house. I believe.
There's a lot. Oh, you got Mavens, huh? It's a lot.
That I purchased. Like I say, everybody think everything I post is stuff I got hooked. No, a lot of stuff I purchased because that's what I like to use.
I'll have Maven hook you up. Brandon Weaver, where you at?
I actually met him. I met him at the Great Outdoor. That's why I bought it from him.
Great.
Like I tried this stuff at the stand. Like I'm gonna purchase this.
Oh, that's good, man. Good for you. They make great shit. I mean, there's a lot of great companies out there.
Yeah, the guy filming, he's a teammate of mine that hunts, but one of the guys, I talked to Frankie Edgar. He said he wanted to do it. Somebody gave him a bow. I said, give me a bow. I'll set it up. I'll show you how to get. I got all my guys. Tell them all. Send the link. Do your hunter safety card, and I'll take you out. I'll film it, and I'll show you how to do it.
Really?
Like my buddy's in Jersey. He's a Jersey Shore Guido type guy. But like I said, I taught him how to shoot a bow 15 weeks ago. He kept mixing up the difference between.
Is this your shop?
Yeah, this is a little pro shop in the basement.
Oh, wow. Nice. So you set up your own bows and everything? You level your third axis and all that stuff? No kidding. That's great, man. I love it.
So the thing is just getting people. I want average Joes.
You get together with Jim Miller? He's out there too, right?
He's up in Summit. I haven't hunted with him, but we talk every once in a while.
He's another one. Full balls deep.
I'm working with his guys at A&W Labs right now for like attracting and whatnot. Them in Bow Creek are the two I use. Like
A&W Labs
A&W Labs for like they got minerals and attractants like put on top of the corn or whatever.
Yeah.
So like getting them on camera. So like I use this stuff like the Killer Q. Like I said, it's not just getting people in it, but like getting these local shops. Like he told me, like we don't sell in stores. We try to get a few here and a few there, but like we don't have the network to get our name out there. So it's people like that. I'm supporting those that support me. You help me support me fighting. And I'll post your stuff, because I got more followers than you. So maybe somebody will click the link, go there, and they'll give it a try.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome, man. You have a perfect attitude. I think, I mean, there's a lot of careers right now in the hunting world. Like a lot of guys make videos, they post videos, and they basically make a great living just making hunting videos. I mean, you can do that now. Hunting podcast now. Steve Ranello, who's the guy who got me into hunting in 2012 for that show, UFC that show, Meat Eater. They make tremendous money now touring. They do these podcasts, these hunting podcasts, and then they do them live. They do them live at sold-out theaters. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I tried to get him involved in podcasting years ago because he would be on mine, and he was so good at it. I'm like, you're such a great talker. You'd be perfect for this. And now it's just one of their biggest things. But it's one more way where guys can make a living and also spread a really positive message and be a great ambassador for hunting, for the hunting community.
Like I posted on Frankie's, he did the butcher box. Is that the new thing these fighters doing?
Yeah.
And I told him, like, I've been trying to tell him, get out to the woods with me. Like, we can get you some meat. Like, I give him and Ricardo meat if they want it out of my freezer. And somebody said something about my comment. I was like, I can give a man a fish and he have food for days, but if I teach a man to fish, he have food for life. Like he can get this box. Right. Like it'd be cool. He's like, oh, not everybody can hunt like you, but I can teach him. Yeah. Anybody that's you can hit me up anytime. If you willing to hunt, if you can make it to me, I will take you out.
And New Jersey's infested with deer.
Everybody like, oh, you're a murderer. But when it hit your car, you mad. I'm saving you that problem.
People die. I mean? Some guy in my friend Cam Haynes' neighborhood last year died. Guy in front of him hit a deer. The deer went up in the air and came through his windshield, killed him.
That's a freak story. Yeah. But if I killed him, if I shot the deer before he got to the road, that wouldn't happen.
You saving lives.
I'm saving lives. Getting Lyme disease and ticks and everything out there.
Did you get Lyme?
Not yet. Fuck. I'm out there. My wife say all the time, you like obsessed with ticks now.
You should be.
Exactly. I'm like, I feel like it's a tick on me or something. Maybe I got ticks. I put the Sawyers on. I use lethal now.
Good.
I be putting on my skin, everything.
Good.
But I be in the woods and I feel something. And I pant, and sure enough, fucking tick on me.
Really?
I get home and I got socks over my pants, gloves over my sleeves and everything tucked in. And I take everything off. I look in the mirror, sure enough, be one on my back. Like dead ass. I was at the Philly fights. And me and my buddies from Hero Sports, we sound like, dude, I feel like something on my back. Like, bro, what are you talking about? We saying, ain't nothing on your back. And I reached in my shirt and sure enough, put a fucking tick on my back. Like, bro, we in Philly at the fights. Wow, fucking tick get on me.
They're everywhere.
Like, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere, and some giant percentage of them have Lyme disease.
They say New Jersey is the highest infested place with ticks.
I can imagine.
And Lyme.
I mean, you see what happened with Jim Miller. I mean, it fucked him up for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it fucked my friend's son up. He got Bell's palsy where his face went numb on his son. Yeah, it's fucking bad, man.
I think Frankie Edgar, one of the guys at the gym, his wife had Lyme, got bit a while ago, and she was messed up for a while.
Marcus Davis. Marcus Davis wound up using all of his money he earned in the UFC to help his wife because his wife got real bad Lyme disease where she was hospitalized for a long time, man. People don't understand that shit can devastate you. That is a dirty disease. Those little stinking fucking ticks, man, they can really mess your life up.
I'm surprised Cam don't get as much as he carried the deers out. Every time I see that now, I be thinking, like, how do you carry the deer on your neck?
If he did, he'd never tell anybody. He would have Lyme disease and just run 150 miles until the Lyme disease died.
Run it out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a psycho. Yeah, there's discipline, and then there's what that guy has.
And this guy, too.
Oh, yeah, Goggins. He's another one, man. He's another one. It's like these guys, they exhibit this next level toughness that makes you re-examine what you're doing. Like, you think you're tough, and then you find out, like, Goggins, what did we say he ran? Like 28, 100 fucking mile runs in a row, something insane like that.
It's a lot.
Why?
More than one's a lot. So.
Why?
Because it's to prove it.
When you run over 2 miles, I look like, why? Like,
I get text message from Goggins say, "Stay hard, motherfucker. I'm checking in on you right now."
You see your text, but you see him yelling.
There.
You hear him yelling in the text.
Exactly,
Have you seen the documentary on Netflix, Losers?
No, I haven't.
Look it up. It's one on there. The guy called Lost in the Desert. It's a guy who runs. It's a desert run they do. Can't remember what country, but he go out there and he was just so obsessed with winning. Like, it's 1,000 people running through this desert, but it's a course they have to follow. But when the wind get bad, they got check-ins or whatnot they're supposed to follow. And this guy, he was so obsessed, like he wasn't checking. He was like trying to take shortcuts. And like, if I go this way, I'll find it. And he ended up going off the course. And when it cleared up, he was way off course. But he was so obsessed, I still got to finish. He was out there for like 5 or 6 days, yeah. And they was talking about how they announced to his family. They told his family, "Your husband's dead. We can't find you." Find him. They had helicopters going all over the place. He went to the point where he started drinking his own piss. He found his cage that's full of bats. He started ripping their heads off, mixing them up, drinking it to survive.
Drinking the bat juice?
Bat juice, mixing it up. And he, like, at one point, he heard a helicopter coming over. He took all his clothes, all his gear, dug a hole, and set it all on fire, hoping they would see him. As the fire went up, the wind blew it out. So he didn't get seen. So he out there with no gear, no nothing, in the middle of nowhere. And he survived. He ended up getting back. And then his mind says, like, I have to finish. Shit. He said, everybody left. He said, when he got there, the checkpoint was gone, but his friend had flew back to find him. And sure enough,
oh my God.
His friend was there, found him in the desert. Yeah, it's called
Losers.
The documentary is called Losers here.
Thank you.
Losers, and the episode is Lost in the Desert. The whole show is good. All the little things on there is good, but that Lost in the Desert one, he ended up divorcing his wife, or his wife left him, because after that, he still went back. He came home and she was like, "You're not going back." He's like, "I'm doing it again. I have to finish." And now he still does it.
He divorced his wife for that?
His wife left him. Well, his wife left him because you got a family. When she left, When he left, she was mad. Like, "What about your family? People die on this. What happened?" He's like, "Don't worry. This is this. I love this. I have to do it." When he came back and his wife was like, "We're not doing it again." He was like, "Yes, I am." Like, you just was on, like, he was pretty much dead. They put him in the hospital. They found him and everything.
And
he ended up doing it again.
Mauro Prosperi. Wow. The survival story of Mauro Prosperi. Disoriented after a sandstorm in the Sahara Desert, this Italian ultramarathon runner walked nearly 200 miles to safety. Fuck. But he's Italian. He's probably going to get divorced anyway. Hey, what are you going to do? Those fucking guys are animals.
Yeah, when you see that, you're going to be like, I want you to direct DM me after you watch it.
I will.
Like, that was.
I will see it.
When he ate the bad juice, I was like, that. I would just kill myself there. I'm not. Like, he was literally biting their heads off, just in a cave, dark, no light. But he was feeling from them. He could see their eyes. He'd bite the head and rip it up with a stick and just drink. That's how he would survive in a cave.
What kind of diarrhea did that guy have?
I don't care. He was
drinking bat. I guess so.
He even killed it. He tried to kill himself, actually.
Really?
But he was so dehydrated, he cut his wrist. He said he had the last sharp thing he had. He cut his wrist with it and went to bed hoping he was going to not wake up dead. And he woke up. He was like, "What in the world?" He said, "That was my sign that I wasn't supposed to die." He said when he got to the hospital, they saw his wrist. They said, "You were too dehydrated to bleed."
Kill yourself.
He didn't have anything. He couldn't bleed. He's healed up.
Jesus Christ.
And he said that was it. He was walking. He said, "I felt myself fainting. I just kept telling myself, I'm here. I have to make it. I have to make it. And I have to make it." And he said he finally, he see like some girl walking out there in the desert. He started walking the way she was going. Then the army, wherever they was at, the army out there come get him. And they got guns and shit. He think he's going to die. And they ended up taking him to the hospital. And he woke up. He had IVs and everything. And they recovered him and took him back to his family. It's a crazy story. Like, all of them was good, but that was, my brother called me like, "Watch that, bro. If you got a mentality like that, you are the fucking man. Watch that."
2 days in, he stumbled into an abandoned Muslim shrine where he noticed some bats huddled together. Prosperi grabbed a handful of them, cut off their heads with a knife, and then sucked out their insides to drink their blood and quench his thirst. Eventually, he did his vampire act on 20 bats. When another 3 days passed with no signs of rescue, he slit his wrists and waited to die, but his blood had thickened due to dehydration, so it wouldn't drain out. Fuck, man.
Like, that's some Goggins and Cam. They need to get together and do a podcast and talk about that. Like, that was...
They wouldn't have cut their wrist.
No. They ain't that tough?
No, they wouldn't have tried to kill themselves.
You're right.
They would have just kept going. I think those kind of people, those ultra marathon people, it's a different breed of human. You know, it's like everything has... There's levels, right, to everything. There's levels. You've experienced it in your own life where you toughened up, you became a stronger person, a harder person, and then there's levels past that, and then there's levels past that. And especially for people that have one solitary thing they do, like ultra marathons, they're all the skinny dudes who can just keep going. They just keep going. It's just it's the pulling it off, the crossing the line, and knowing that you did something that seemed almost impossible, so titanically, epically difficult to do, that so few people can ever do it. When they do, they're talking about running a 500-mile race now, because they did the Moab 230 and they had the Bigfoot 200. All these people that are putting on these races, they're like, okay, we could do 240. Let's see if we could do 500. So now they're talking about doing a 500-mile race. It's next level.
It's hard for me to run a 5K.
I hear you. Well, you're a big fella, too.
I mean, I could do it, but I did it in college, and I've never ran like a nothing calculated like you had to pay to do again. It was like a charity we had to do for college. Nope, never again.
Have you ever thought about doing something like that? Like
I'm gonna run 5K. I ain't finna pay to go run. It's like going skydiving. Why am I jumping out of a perfectly good plane to go on the ground?
Yeah, why do you have to pay to run a 5K? Like, what are they organizing it? I guess
like most of them like go to foundations and stuff like that. Yeah. But even then, like you heard about the foundations that take money. I don't trust none.
You do hear about.
So it's like I'm not paying no $100-something to go run 13.1 miles.
Right.
I'm cool. People know it's more the fact that I can say I did it. I can say I did it on my own.
Yeah,
I go run 13.1 miles and I did it.
Check my phone.
You know what I mean?
13 miles. We're good. Drive home.
Track my mile. Track my run. Boom. Tell me how far I go. And hit 13. I'm done. Calling a taxi.
But you, like when you're a big guy like it's probably not good to run a lot of miles, right? A lot of pounding.
Especially on flat-footed shit. I'm so flat, like my ankles like touch the inside of my ankles touch. I'm so flat-footed.
I'm pretty flat-footed
too. Zero arch at all. So like I get a new pair of shoes every camp, but after camp it's over. Because by all the movement and running I'm doing, I use the same shoes, athletic shoes for hitting mitts and shadow boxing and running. So with all the flat footness pushing down, by the time it's time to fight, it's gone. Like I feel it. My feet start hurting, my calves hurt. I know it's time for new shoes.
You ever try minimalist shoes? Like those toe shoes or minimalist shoes?
I don't think they make them in my size.
What size are you?
14.
I bet they do. I guarantee you they do. They make them in 11. I'm 11.
Oh, yeah. That's a big difference. They make everything in 11 and 13. I had a size 14 at the age of 14. So
really?
Yes.
Damn.
My feet grew my age. So
you must look like a puppy.
Old. No, I was big. I was 6 foot tall. Or freshman year in high school, 13 years old, I was 6 foot.
Wow.
Yeah. Like
size 14 shoes.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I wrestled heavyweight from freshman year in high school to senior year in college. That's 215 to 285.
What motivated you to go down to 205?
Well, I did a catchweight fight at like 220, the fight before I went to Ultimate Fighter. And when I went there, I had to go 205. My coach said, "You made it. You won the belt here. You might as well try it. Go 205. Like you can do it. I know you can do it."
Right.
And once I got it, I was like, "All right, I can do this." And then it was like 85. I was like, I'm not doing it. I could do it, but I'm not doing it. I remember what it took to get here. It ain't worth it.
It's not worth it. You're too big. You know, if you look at you, like I think a lot of guys have fucked their careers up by doing that, by dropping too much weight.
Yeah, I think you really get rocked off a punch. Then you're very dehydrated. That one little touch, like I said, I think that was the reason why I got knocked out against Jimmy so easy too. I was so light. I weighed in at 205, and next day I weighed in at 212 going to the ring. He was 229 checking in, and he weighed in at 227 before the ring. And he said, like, you're too small. And I feel like my mind, like I said, I used to keep myself so low. Like when I wake up and when I get up so fast, sometimes I have to sit back down. Like I could tell I was getting lightheaded so easy. You know what I mean? 'Cause I was doing too much like that, and I would get lightheaded. And I would just sit there for a while, drink some water, and stand up slow. Like, that's the feeling you get when you're cutting weight.
That's so crazy.
But I was feeling that all the time. Do something too fast in training, and just had to sit there on the mat like, yeah, give me a second. And I stand up like, all right.
Terrible.
Yeah, but in my mind, it's like, if I stay here, I'm always ready for a fight. But it wasn't good at all.
No, you're cutting back on your performance in a big way. But listen, man, now we did a half hour more, so we're good.
Was good.
Let's get the fuck out of here. And let's go on a hunt, man. Let's you and me do it.
I'm down.
Okay, we'll figure something out. I'm all booked up for this fall, but maybe next year we'll start planning.
Whenever.
I'd like to take you out to Utah, especially after this year's elk hunt. You're gonna love it. All right,
do it.
Corey Anderson, thank you, sir.
Joe,
Appreciate you, man. Bye, everybody.